All right, so this is going to be super speedy here at the start. We have a Nomad start. It's on a map named Maghreb. If you want the full context of the situation here, this is a $1,000 best of 7 between two of the best teams that are out and about in an event called Battle of Africa 3. Both teams wanted some additional practice. I have no clue who this show match is hosted by. I have no clue who is funding it. I have no clue of any details because none of it was given to me. I found out 30 minutes ago that this was even happening. So I'm excited to cast nonetheless. You've got the Snake playing as the Burgundians here in the yellow. You've got Doubt playing as the Spanish here in the magenta. And way over here, you've got Tato. That's interesting. You've got Viper and Doubt nearby with their Lumberjacks. But yeah, you've got Tato playing as the Japanese. So Tato's probably going to focus on water. You have Doubt and you have Viper going for the faster food start because of the shorefish in the middle. And you can see both teams have kind of adapted the same thing. You've got Dravidians for Fat Dragon, a.k.a. Vivi. First time I've seen him named Fat Dragon since like 2019. I'm very excited to see that. And then in the green, you've got Yo, who needs no introduction. King of China, the king of WWP. And he's playing Berbers. And then here you've got Bulgarians for Licks. I expect some crazy aggression from Licks because Bulgarians have cheaper blacksmith upgrades and no eco upgrades. Whereas Viper's got incredible eco upgrades available with the Burgundians. Now, chat, is the first time I've been casting it a bit. I mentioned this before. We made some tweaks so, you know, I can do team games and whatnot. And it's actually a different little program that I'm using when working with the Capture Age team. So, if the sound, like for me, it feels like the Lumberjack sound is a little higher than what I'm used to. If it is a little high, let me know. I will try and toy with it. To me, like, I tried to adjust this the other day. I just couldn't get it to really stop because there's no, like, overall volume control there. So I don't really know what to do, to be honest. Hopefully, I think it's manageable for now, and then we can maybe make some adjustments later. Alex says I'm a Tato fan. I'm a Tato fan as well. Tato's a really good player. And Tato is also incredible when it comes to hybrid situations. So the fact that he's going to be going on water over here is a really nice move. Now, this is funny. Now, I'm not patting myself on the back, okay? But I did literally just have the conversation 30 minutes ago with people here. They're like, what do you think about Dravidians? And I said, to me, Dravidians are very comparable to the Japanese. And what do you have? One team going for Japanese, another team going for Dravidians to play the exact same role. Again, I'm not patting myself on the back because I expect you guys to do that. This is where everyone's going to say, wow, T90, you know so much. Please don't make fun of my farms, thank you. But feeling pretty good about that one. Feeling pretty good about that one right now. Okay, so what's tricky is the gold and the stone position. Whoa. Okay, that was just a big freeze. The gold and the stone position is over towards the left. You'll notice there's not gold and stone positions in the middle. And you do have a little bit towards the right. But, you know, for the players like Viper and Doubt, they are very much going to need to go over here. So what can happen is, and you can see it now, is Licks, he wants to deny those resources. Bulgarians get the Man-at-Arm upgrade for free. And so he's making militia, and he's looking around right now. So he can see he's scouting with his little camel. They don't start with an actual scout. Tato and Doubt are going to use the exact same gold. They're going to work together on this. And look, Yo is even here as well. So I would be really worried if I saw these camels. And, you know, this, like, the ability to be able to take care of one player with one, or two players with one tower would just be fantastic here. Now, I think what's kind of nice, this is the show match, right? This isn't the Battle of Africa 3 tourney. And so what this means is this is a great time to practice, right? Now, I guess you could argue you could also give away strategies. But the idea here is probably to practice a couple strats that, you know, maybe you haven't tested out. And okay, so here you have it. So they see this now. They see this now. And Tato immediately is going to go for a counter tower. Now, the problem is he can only build this with 3 vills. Now he's opening this up a little bit so he can maybe build it with 4. But still, this villager needs to build. And this tower is going to complete for Licks. And so some of these villagers are going to have to leave. Like, I think if Licks could focus down Doubt's villagers would have to run because he doesn't have anywhere to hide here. Let's see what Lix ends up doing here. Now, if he moves the man-at-arms too far away, Tato would actually be able to like hop out of here and rush this down. He focuses on Doubtsvilles. He moves Doubtsvilles away. Doubt ends up losing a villager. We're going to see an archer range here for Lix. And I think as far as Lix is concerned right now, it's mission accomplished. Over here, we have Tato, and he has just walled in a villager from Vivi. How does Tato do everything at once? He has just trapped a villager from Vivi here. And Tato's going to go for it again. He's so good at this. And he gets another one. So now there's 2 villagers in a Tato prison over here. And Tato's having a good old time. Meanwhile, obviously, he's going to be back on gold a little bit. Doubt's helping out, taking out the tower. And Doubt has now made a tower here. And well, actually, unless he doesn't repair... Oh, man, he was so lucky. But yeah, Doubt's going to protect his stone for now. So we have galleys for Vivi on the water. And then you've got Tato going for the fires. Now, as exciting as the little prison thing is, Tato got a 3rd one! What the crap is happening? Oh, and he got 4 now! What the... I've never seen anything like this. I've seen 3 before. Of course, it was from Tato. But this weak villager, I guess she needs to save herself now, has done an unbelievable job at idling the economy from Vivi. There will be a jailbreak. They'll eventually break out. Boop, boop. There she goes. She's leaving. But my goodness. Now, the problem for Tato is he hasn't been able to focus on water. Like, the triple dock galley production is probably going to win water here. And also, Tato, he's off of gold now, right? So I don't really think that was absolutely efficient for him. But you do have scouts from Yo, something we haven't been able to talk about. You've also got scouts from the Viper. And I think, you know, at some point soon, it would make a lot of sense for Viper to come back and clean this up. But right now, he has to respect Yo's presence here. But yeah, I mean, Tato will end up losing his fish most likely, which will hurt him. Obviously, can't take gold comfortably right now either. And Lix is against 2 players here. So you have Lix against 2. Yo can just do his thing. And that thing has been pressuring the Viper. And there's still a couple question marks over Viper and you know, the form he's in. That's only because he is the best player of all time, and he took some breaks, and, you know, you want to know if he can regain his form. He's played very well here. Has been playing very well the last month. And, you know, Yo and Viper typically, you know, over the years, they have matched up pretty evenly. So, I mean, certainly in team games anyways. So there should be a castle soon for Doubt. I'm paying attention to Doubt's stone count. He is on stone, kind of. As we expected, Viper's coming over here. Lix is going to just try and hold this position for as long as humanly possible. He does not have a lot of army here. He's just got villagers, some men-at-arms. Men-at-arms are going down, and the archers. No spearmen. Viper has armor. This is going to be a massive clear. At the same time, I'm still trying to track those scouts for Yo. Where did they end up going here? And they're actually over here. Unfortunately for Yo, a little late, but he could actually kill Doubt's villagers. So here he goes, but then again, you don't want to lose all your scouts to Viper's scouts. So he just got bloodlines in. He also got forging, so he has the stronger scouts. And yeah, this actually worked out for Yo. Sorry, guys. There's so many different things I want to be talking about right now, but there's action everywhere. The question is, has Lix done enough here? And I personally think the answer is yes. One player has been able to take 2 players off of resources. And Doubt, unless I missed it, isn't building his castle yet, guys. Look at this. He would need to buy 200 stone to be able to build the castle. Lix still trying to keep this villager alive, and oh, how did it die? I think the tower got it. The players have brought the quick walls out in full force today. Let me just double check. Tato lost 1 fishing ship, so not as crazy as I thought. But they're both working off of 3 right now. Economically speaking, they're pretty even. Doubt's at 29 villagers, though, which is... I mean, he is in Castle Age, but it's still not great. Can't take gold, but he does have the villagers here to eventually mine the stone and eventually drop a castle. But I feel like he'd want to drop the castle here. Also, this is something that Lix could easily take advantage of if he can get some archers over here. Tato hasn't built a tower there at all. And we have a pause. Wow, okay, so we get to take a deep breath finally. What a crazy game this is. Viper hasn't clicked up to the next stage yet. He also is making a few more scouts. which is probably part of it. But he's actually going to be on 3 stables in a second. I don't know if this means he's going to be all in Feudal Age. But you already have Yo on the way to the next stage. And Berbers, they have cheaper knights and camels starting in Castle. Wow. Steven says, I've missed you hard. Hey, thank you. Alper says, T90 on every single stream. I've never seen anything like this. Alper, you might have an argument in other instances, but if you ever want to look good with an argument, pick a better time, dude. 4 villagers walled in? I level Age of Empires 2? Show me another instance where that's happened between teams like this. Nice try, though. Okay. Everyone else is like, welcome back, T90. We haven't seen you in a long time. Alper's like, oh, I can't wait to call this guy out for his crap. Scout's looking around for damage. Viper can't take gold to go up to the next stage. It's like this left side, and it all started off with licks, is a big problem for GamerLegion. This could be a very fast game. Look at this. This is going to be at least 1 villager down. I think we could see all 3 of these villagers go down here. I mean, it's really hard for these villagers to consistently build when they keep getting hit with arrows. And what you can do is you can continually click if you're Tato. That's the way to get around that. But is it too little? Is it too late for him as he continues to click? And no way. All the villagers go down. Doubt will probably get his castle up. And here he comes. But honestly, Doubt, who's the lowest score, is going to have to do the carrying right now, I think. Because Conquistadors are very strong. And he's going to be the only player in Castle Age for his team. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like the Fat Dragon. He's been doing a really good job. At least 50-50ing it versus Tato. I think he's going to be able to beat Tato on water, though, because he's going to be in Castle Age faster. It's so funny. So, that you remember the quick walls from Tato? Like, that was a very Viper-esque moment. Have you guys ever seen that from Viper where it's like, oh my god, an amazing play? And then, like, on the other side of the map, he's losing, like, 3 villagers to something. This is not to say that these players can't do the amazing moves and then also not make a fail on the other side. But, like, Tato quick walling on that side and then losing on water and then also losing here is just classic. It takes so much effort. Okay, we have a TC. Wow, I mean, TC's everywhere, man. You've got Yo securing his gold with the town center. We have a stone being secured with the town center. You have another town center going up here for Fat Dragon. I feel like that's something, I mean, maybe I'm being harsh, but I feel like that's something Viper should be looking for. He hasn't really looked over here at all. That said, will know that villagers will oftentimes be on the shore fish, and now here he comes to get some damage in, and he will see that villager. That 1 camel should actually be enough. Look at Lix. He's in good shape right now. Walling in his Ville. And Doubt's going to be making conks. Doubt does have 3 conks right now. That's a good number. We also have a transport ship for Vivi, which has me very confused. I don't know why he's making a transport ship at the moment. Currently, he's trying to pressure Tato on water. Tato pretty far away from Castle Age. I think he's only working off of 1 dock as well. So I do not expect a big pushback on water. And a good teamwork here from Viper and from Doubt to use the conks and the scouts together. Viper still also a minute away from the Castle Age. That said, economically, it's dead even. Overall, the populations are fairly close. You could expect that that will change a little bit with some of the town centers coming up faster for White Wolf Palace. But look at this from Viper and Doubt. They continue to work together here. And Lix has no support from Yo. And, you know, for all the good things we've said about Yo, I think Lix did his job, and Yo's not necessarily supporting right now. Maybe Yo just didn't expect that to come over to this side. This is huge for GamerLegion, because they were about to fall a bit behind. Now this is bringing them back into it as we have Cav Archers for Lix. Lix can't take gold, and Doubt's like, how do you like it? How does it feel? That said, the Knights had to go somewhere, and now the Knights are on Doubt, so there's a trade-off to this, right? You don't support Lix if you're Yo, but then you're killing Doubt, which is going to make you feel pretty good. You also can tell Lix that, like, hey, sorry, but hey, we have some reward to letting you die. That's how it goes. Tato, I don't expect him to make a lot of army here. He is going full eco upgrades, doesn't have any military. He's got some fire ships hiding, but just dropping town center, so I don't expect to really be talking about Tato a lot. But, oh, man, Doubts. He's lost so many vills this game. And his credit, he did get up to 50. Like, he still has the highest vill count for his team. Look at Viper here. I mean, he does have an incredible economy in terms of upgrades with the Burgundians. But he really needs to put his foot on the gas because he only has one town center. Look at Tato just aiming to find some fishing ships. It's not going to happen, though. The Vivi, haven't talked much about him, but he's 2 town centers, looking good. I wish Doubt would move these goats somewhere because I keep thinking those are conquistadors, just caster problems. Yeah, now you've got a very big lead for White Wolf Palace. It's amazing how it shot up. It's because of the faster town centers. And also their units are cheaper. Like, Cav Archers don't cost food, so it's pretty easy for Licks to catch up with vill count. Actually, it's not going to be, as Viper finds more values from the scouts. Look at this. Viper scouts, 9 kills. About to be 10, and maybe even more, obviously. But still, you know, Cav Archers, you can at least mass a bit easier without food. Then you have Yo up to 66 vills. Fat Dragon is super fat right now. He's eating good at 79 eco. And obviously, some of that's fish, but most of it's villagers. And then you also have, I don't know why the word just failed me. Oh yeah, Berber camels and knights are cheaper. So there's a lot of savings in many ways involved for WWP on top of having the big economy lead. I will say this, though. Viper's going to get a TC up on stone. He has had gold. Dowd is actually going to go for a crazy boom here. He's going for 4 TCs. Usually, if you're on 4 TCs, though, you're not able to continue to produce conks. Just because of how expensive conks are. But we'll see. We have a castle here for Yo, and now it's decision time for him. Because you always want to stick with the camels if you don't have a castle, right? Cheap camels, cheap knights, that's good. But maybe you consider going camel archers. I would say with this economy, he can probably do both. I think you can start to make camel archers. But still, you don't want to stop production of the camels. You still need to focus on that. Yo, a little concerned that the mobility might be a problem stonewalling up over here. As Viper and Doubt trying to work together. Tato could maybe come back in some way later on. But again, he's just booming. He is actually making some Cav Archers right now. So finally contributing with a little bit more. And that pressure seems to be heading right over to Vivi right now. Licks is at 45 vills, which is the lowest. But Yo should be able to protect himself and should be able to protect Licks. That is just one too many camels for Delta to deal with. But the Cavalier are in over here. And Yo's going to take losses to this. Vivi hasn't had any lands military either. It's been an issue for Vivi over the years. It's just to boom too much. Like, he's on his way to Imp now, but I don't really know what his plan is. Clearly, it's to be going something like Crossbow or Skirmisher, but the archer range is way too late. Here, though, the camels have chased back the conks pretty easily. Here, Yo is going to be able to clear this up so Vivi can breathe. Meanwhile, we have Viper, who runs into the castle, and the Cav Archers. But, you know, Licks is kind of on his own at the moment, so he needs to back away. Fat Dragon very fat. Fat Dragon looking good. Protection is here, though, from his teammate. He's still only making archers. He's trying to get crossbow now. He thinks he can get this up. I think he can as well. This is where if you're Licks, you just don't take any bad fights. 50-50 fights are fine because you have a bit of a lead. You have to expect that Vivi or Yo are going to be able to do some crazy things here. And, oh, man, amazing fight for them. Great clear up there. What a great game, though. Honestly, really good game. So I'll just say right now, like, I don't know what my upload plan is. Look at Vivi. He's going to transport monks. He's getting the relics. Oh, I think there were relics here as well. Oh, my God. He's got 6 relics. He's about to have 8. I guess there was 2 on each little island. That's pretty crazy. So anyways, I think this game is worthy of YouTube. We'll see what we can do about getting the rest of the games up. But hopefully the rest of the series matches this. Good to see these great teams practicing for Battle of Africa. Obviously, again, I have no clue who's hosting it, who's put the money up, or whatever. It could be your Uncle Jim, for all I know. I've received no information on that. But gym or no gym, you know, good for the players to have more prize pool to fight for as well. Always like to see that. I just really feel like Tato is going to die to Trebuchets and Arbalest on this side. And then Yo is now also on the way to the Imperial Age. The only weak link has been Lix. But Lix has great army numbers now. The Vipers had to fall back with Doubt, and just never a good sign. Yeah, the Tato Vilcage will definitely be in some type of a short. Some type of a YouTube short, but... Now, I mean, this is not a position you want to get caught in if you're Lix. Obviously, you know, you can get out of here because you have Cav Archers, but it is still a little tricky. Yeah, this is where I think the game starts to end. Tato, a little late to contribute with anything on land. He did get outplayed on water. But think of the job that Tato had to do. Tato, well, obviously you had the quick walling villagers. But then you had to win water as well as defend yourself on land. Vivi just had to go water. That was it, because he didn't get tower rushed like that. Like what Lix did, this is why Lix is one of the best team game players in the world in terms of his role, guys. Like Lix, go back and watch the 2v2 World Cup of 2020 and just see what Lix and Yo were able to do together. Because Lix sets up his team. He is incredible at that. He will do something that will affect two players on the other team, and then his buddies always have the lead. He's the ultimate teammate. You know, a lot of good players, whether it's in sports or esports or whatever, they want the limelight. They want the top score. They want more eco. They want more kills. That is not Lix. The way he started this off affected Doubt, and it affected Tato negatively. And then that is why Yo was able to do so well against Viper. And that is a lot of why Vivi was able to do so well against Tato. And a very good game there. Let me see. Can I get this to fit up here? Because this going to make sense for me. $1,000 show match. No, it doesn't. Okay, show match. that looks better, I guess. Quick look at the resources here. Again, YouTube, if you end up seeing this individual game, I'll have the full set either coming up or maybe in the description. I think I might even put the full best of 7 up on YouTube for this. We'll see. But yeah, here's a look at the resources. The boom for Vivi was just insane. Again, I do feel like Dravidians are a bit one-sided in 1v1s on land maps, but they're very comparable to the Japanese with how they play out. Very good archer line, lots of bonuses that make them good on hybrid maps or water maps. Well played there from the Fat Dragon. And yeah, for GamerLegion, I mean, I think you need to have Viper tracking the villager. I don't know. It's really tricky. Like, the way that Lix performed here is very hard to stop. Because if you go back, where's the uptimes here? He was up at 930, right? And Man-at-Arm Tower is the fastest hitting strategy you can have. Because if you go Man-at-Arm Archer, you have to build the Archer range in Feudal, wait for the Archers, wait for some upgrades. Man-at-Arm Tower is right away. I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if Doubt and Tato didn't take the same gold. Because they did share that gold, so they both got hit. I don't know. It's really tricky. I think you just have to give credit to Lix for that. All right, ladies and gents. We have a very Arabia-like game here. The score is currently 1-0 for good old White Wolf Palace. Let's get the introductions in for GamerLegion. Actually, hold on. What's happening over here? Okay, I thought maybe we had some laning. So we'll start over here. For GamerLegion, we have Tato, who had a very eventful game number 1, but did end up falling behind due to the brilliance and aggression from Lix. Tato's playing as the Chinese. Here in the yellow, middle position, which is what we call pocket, we have Viper. Viper playing as the Slavs. And in the purple, we have Doubt, who is on the flank, and it will be interesting to see how he performs with this civilization here. Doubt is playing as the Poles. In the blue, we've got Lix. Lix is playing as the Malay. In the green, we have Yo, no surprise, who's playing as the Franks. And then, last but not least, we have the Fat Dragon, who's playing as the Vietnamese. Obviously, score currently is 1-0. I personally feel like the civilizations just match up a lot better for White Wolf Palace. Vietnamese, fantastic archer civilization, more HP on their archers, really good economy, one of the best flank civilizations. Malay, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily one of the best flank civilizations, but I do think advancing faster to the next stage and having good archers available all the way up with full upgrades is important. You know, Poles, you think of Poles, you're not typically thinking of archers. Also, did Doubt just lose a villager there? Or was there a garrison involved? Hold on. KD. Viper got to kill Vivi. I think Vivi lost a scout over here. Okay, we're fine. Now, the one exception to the rule, to what I just said, is probably the Chinese. Chinese are definitely up there. I think they're like top 3 in team games. I think having Mayans, Chinese, or Britons on the flank is what you would want. So Tato could have a really good game here, potentially. Now, when I think about the long term, when we're talking Yo Civilization and Viper Civilization, all about Castle Age for the Slavs. They have faster farms. That's where it really starts to kick in. When you've got 20 to 30 farms, and Slavs are a civilization that cannot get Paladin, whereas Franks can. You're thinking late Castle Age, early Imperial Age, before it goes super late. And more scouts fighting on this side. And another fight, which is pretty close. I'm guessing Tato's scout was... Yeah, Tato's scout was 1 hit away from death, so it was a 50-50 engagement. And he ended up winning. WDW Kid, this map is very similar to Arabia. I think what they did was, you know, this is a Battle of Africa map. They could have called it Arabia, but they just wanted it to be a little more themed. I have not seen anything that really stands out about it that says it's that different from Arabia. Balance-wise, I think it's pretty good. You know, it's an open land map. Typically, you're going to see a lot of scouts and archers. But yeah, you know, I think an opportunity for Viper to shine here, because I think poles are the big standout. Like, if you think about poles, you receive gold when you mine stone, but it's not that fast. So can you take advantage of that bonus? I don't think so, if you want to go archers. You need to farm around your full works to get 10% of the farm's food. It's a very specific way to play, and... Okay, our question's going to be answered. Doubt is going to stone right now. But if you were to go archers, you generally are opening with 2 to 3 on gold, right? And what you need over the course of the whole game before gold mining upgrades is you need 4 villagers on gold per archer range. I hope that helps some of you guys. I'm trying to spit out some of those numbers nowadays, because I think that it can help you guys in the middle game. But yeah, so anyways, in order to have that much gold coming in, you would need to have 8 on stone to equal 4 on gold, because you receive 50% of the gold cost, or the gold amount, excuse me, when compared to the stone cost. So I think what Doubt is going to do is maybe go forward here, like maybe go man-at-arm tower, in which case this would make sense, but I haven't seen the vills go yet, so I'm a little confused. We have walling from Fat Dragon, which is something that he can justify a bit more because Tato's scout is very weak. So Tato won't be able to deny this. Then you have Lix over here with Yo. And Lix is probably going to communicate that Viper's scout is over here. Lix's scout is weak from his earlier fight against Doubt. And here's Yo. And like Doubt's not even up yet. And Yo's going to see he's not on gold here and probably say, okay, he must be on stone. Yeah, I just personally, as Lix, okay, a little sloppy here, because he did get housed, but I personally don't like this for team games. I do not see Doubt having the gold to consistently make archers, which is what this type of map typically brings. Okay, here comes Doubt. Let's see what I said, right? He's 65 gold, so we can go for man-at-arms. It doesn't even feel like he wants to click that now. What is nice is Polish villagers do heal up. So, you know, if he takes a hit, it's not going to be weak forever. It'll just slowly heal up over time. But you could see Yo's coming over with another scout. You can also see Viper's thinking about sending a scout forward. Yeah, Lix should be fine here as long as he pays attention. And Lix is making archers. And has enough on gold. In fact, he has more than enough on gold right now. Here's an archer trying to block things off and annoy Doubt. Doubt will have an archer on the way. Doubt will just need to get the walls down here before the scout comes in, and great job from him. Still could lose the villager, though. And I think we'll lose the villager. Obviously, it will heal a little bit. Oh, and look at Yo. They should dive for the archer then as well. Oh, man. Disaster here for Doubt. Oh, he's getting attacked on this side as well. What is this opening? This is a disaster opening. Great micro from Lix, though. My goodness. And look, they'll take out the spearman as well. Doubt, his militia. They did actually kill a villager on this side. They will all die now. And he still only has one single archer. We've got idle villagers here as Dowd has to quick wall. You've got idle villagers here as Dowd has to quick wall. And, you know, will not have the gold to consistently make archers because he went to stone. Just a bad play. I've got to say it how it is. You just shouldn't. Playing poles in this position is already awkward, but you just have to suck it up and go to gold. Dowd has always been a player who wants to take advantage of every single bonus he can, so I think that's probably why. But a rough one there. Now, this is going to be really awkward because you have Tato with one archer and two spearmen, and that's not something that can easily be dealt with by a scout player. That said, it's not going to kill villagers that quickly. Here you have Viper with quite a few scouts. Dowd just now getting his wood upgrade, by the way, so double trouble for him. Yo will have to respect this. Meanwhile, army going forward for Licks. On the other side, we just have double range archers for Vivi. I feel like he's going to pop out here in a second. I feel like he's going to make a move towards Viper. I could be wrong. Yo groups up with all of his scouts. Be curious to see if Viper is going to get any upgrades here. Frank's scouts do have more HP. But with Viper getting bloodlines, then Viper would have a little bit more. Feels like Tato's going to want to do something here. You have a little signal here from Yo. He's like, hey, this is annoying for me. I can't deal with this. Someone send some help. And there goes Vivi. Not sending everything. And then here goes Tato. Again, I think Tato is going to be the key here. Especially now because Dowd has had some struggles. With this many scouts, it feels like we should be seeing an upgrade from Viper. Surely there's going to be a blacksmith. I think he wants to wait for bloodlines. Oh, no, here we go. Here's armor. Oh, my God, man. I mean, it's the right play, right? It's the right play because you don't want to completely die. But just tells you how bad this has been for him. Okay, Tato is over here now. But something that Vivi has done a really poor job of is keeping Tato honest. He has not moved forward against Tato at all. He's not tracked the army at all. And there's an opportunity here for Tato. Look at Tato running with this. So this army's kind of, not useless, but made a trip that might not have necessarily been worth it. Tato can carry this one, guys. And something that Dowd has done a good job of, you know, looking for positives. He hasn't lost that many vills. So it could have always been worse in that department. Now, obviously, the pressure is heading over towards Viper. Viper's going to have to defend against two. But at the same time, you know, it's looking a little better for GamerLegion because there's not many archers here from Licks. Licks has a lot of his army at home right now. I guess he's got two groups. And yeah, they're kind of backing away from Viper. So I think they are correctly sensing that Viper might pounce on that. But this needs to be dealt with. And look at Vivi. He's like, oh, yeah, I need to go forward. But now he's hearing the calls from Yo, and he needs to go help. That's why it's so important, guys, to be controlling the game by being aggressive. We saw earlier how Dowd fell behind. But that was honestly just poor decision-making, lack of execution. But what Tato did, moving out a little blindly, has allowed them to control the game. And I think Viper's going to have a lot of fun with this, guys. Look at him. He's not going to go over to try and pounce on this. He's actually going to go over with Tato. Tato should eject from his ranges here in a second. And then Vivi's going to feel the pain. And these archers are inevitably going to go down here for Tato. That's a lot of scouts from Yo. But you see Dowd's on the way up to the next stage. You see Tato's on the way to the next stage. And you see Viper scouts obviously heading for a target. Movable says, is this live? Yes, it is. Hello, hello. What's Dowd going to make? Okay. So currently he's got one archer in the middle of the map. He's going to make more because he's making another range. Very fast uptime. Crazy recovery. Licks still hasn't clicked up yet. Does advance faster to the next stage, but that's very late. Also, there's an overchop here. There's an overchop here. And Yo with the house. Holy crap, man. Now let's check the HP. Viper should have bloodlines now. So Viper 950 HP. Yo with 600. So it's not even necessarily the numbers there. Viper does have a little bit more in the way of numbers. Actually, he's got one more in the way of numbers. But it's bloodlines being in. Yo also has not clicked up yet. But like Yo's struggles here directly come back to Vivi. And look again, Tato just passing, man. Like, that's all Vivi being way too passive. And here comes Doubt. I mean, who knows what Yo's going to do when he sees Doubt's Archer. I mean, I might just resign. 25 HP Archer for Doubt. Yo's like, I'm not expecting Doubt to have one Archer here. What am I going to do against that? I think he might just call it quits. Some crazy play from Doubt. As Doubt wants to go Cav Archers. Certainly explains why he didn't make more Archers. He hits Castle Age. He starts to make Cav Archers. Here comes Tato, and Yo needs to drop a tower. Yo sees the Archer, so he knows now. And look at Vivi. Oh, man, it's so frustrating to watch. But it's tricky now, right? Because you need to keep Yo in the game. Yo has some amazing damage control, though. It wasn't cheap. He's lost villagers. He's been off of gold this whole time. He had to invest in quite a few houses. A lot of wood spent on the market. Obviously can't add a second town center now that he's had a tower. I think if I am Yo, though, I'm telling Vivi, kill Tato. Kill Viper. Like, Vivi chasing just gives Viper and Tato so much time. But the force is strong enough where some help is definitely needed. And, uh-oh. Okay, so let's see Doubt's damage control. There's actually an opportunity here for Lix to dive underneath the TC. There's not a lot of rounds. He's thinking about it. Is there a hole there? No, he's sitting here. And now, for WWP, you definitely need to have... Like, Lix needs to continue to perform really well. Tato's one of the best civilizations for the flank in the game, adding the second town center. He's taken no damage. He's got 3 ranges. You've got crossbows heading this way. Viper, fastest farms in the game, adding TC number 2 and 3. Went for the light cav upgrade. So impressed with Yo, though, that he has not taken more damage to this type of a push. So many players would have just lost there. And credit to Vivi. I mean, I think, you know, there were some mistakes earlier which put Yo on the back foot, but he is here to support. So good work from him there. Where are Doubt's Cav Archers right now? Okay, they're on the move. It's sad times he lost his one Archer, but yeah, Lix is going to maybe need to meet up with his teammates. Viper has light cav here, but Viper doesn't have many knights. And I think it's going to be about the knight numbers now. But Viper has the much better economy, both in numbers, but also upgrades. His units as well have chain barding armor, which is a big one against archers. Viper even rushing early handcart, which I think is an underrated play here. It could be because he got housed or something, but I wouldn't put it past him intentionally investing in that one early. Ooh, from the other side, we have Lix. Again, there's not many knights for Viper, but you normally want a knight buffer if you are Lix. Like, oh, God. Oh, God. That's so worth it for Viper. There's light cav, though. We're trying to double-click them. 16 kills from just what started as scouts in this game. That's why you normally need to stick with your team and not come in from the other angle. I can understand what they were thinking, though. WWP does have the military lead, but they are significantly behind in economy. And I think this is the perfect position for the Snake. Because you want to end the game in late castle, early imp. You want to get ahead of a player who can eventually get Paladin. He's already way ahead of him. You have Tato, who might take a little bit of damage, we'll see. But he's in an incredible position as well. And then Doubt, he just needs to not die. And he's accomplished that. I mean, somehow Doubt, he has more villagers right now than Lix does. He doesn't have more army, but Lix only has 7 armies, so. It's going to be a tricky one here. And I guess Vivi's going to need to be the guy, because he's got 45 army. Like, Vivi's going to need to be the guy that really carries. It's possible that by the time he makes it to his next target, Viper's going to have such a big mass that it's going to be near impossible to stop. A few days ago, I played with Fat Dragon in 4v4 ranked. I'm 1450 single player. He was with some low elo, so he was in the same match. Totally changed the game. Yeah, that kind of sucks. That is something that is wrong with our matchmaking, unfortunately. Something I won't get into, but yeah, that can happen from time to time. Team game matchmaking is kind of a mess. It's also a really complicated topic. As Viper is going to find this army. It's a little big. In fact, all the crossbows have worked together. This is what you need to do if you're Vivi. This is actually the correct play. Instead of splitting groups, just have one massive group. Little raid here from Yo. I like to see this. Trying to distract the Viper. You can tell Yo realizes how far behind he is because he's not trying to catch up in the boom. He's investing everything he can right now into the night numbers. And Tata decides to go Skirmisher. Interesting choice here. Maybe sensing that Yo's not going to have that many knights. Normally, you wouldn't see Skirmishers in a team game. And look at the uptimes here for Vivi and for Liggs. What? A double fast imp. A forward siege workshop for Liggs. There's now 30 villagers behind Doubt. But Doubt doesn't really have army right now. I think Doubt will maybe want to tech switch into something other than archers when he makes it to imp. Yeah, Vivi just needs to hold right now. I think he could actually do that on his own. Certainly can wait a minute until he gets Arbalest. A little mistake here. He's going to lose a crossbow. Might lose another crossbow. But he should be able to pull everything back behind here. He's actually not producing out of this range, guys. You see how he has tons of Q here? So I think all of Castle Age, he has not put this archer range on the same group. Which has hurt his numbers. Which is crazy to say because he's got 50 army. Obviously took some losses. Painful stuff for him there. Doubt dropping a castle. This should go up. But chemistry being the first thing that clicks tells me he's going to go with bombard cannons. Accompanying his army there. We now have Imp for Doubt. I still have no clue what his plan is in the next stage. We might start to see him get some cab upgrades. And this range is now being utilized for Arbalest. Bracer's about to be in, but great job from Tato and from Viper to just say, okay, I'll take out your buildings. But they need to back away here. The faster Imperial Age with all this military is really strong here. And look at this! Where's Viper? Viper doesn't have the knight numbers we were expecting, and Tato's going to lose everything, and he knows it too. He knows it, so he says, okay, well, I can't kill the knights. So I'll just try and kill as many range units as possible. But look at the army counts now. White Wolf Palace with some incredible play, and we really need to see the Snake get some more production out here. Meanwhile, on this side, we're going to see those bomber cannons come out. Doubt is, I guess, trying to go into Elite Scrim. I'm still got some big question marks over Doubt's performance today. Not played as good as one would hope. Gotta keep looking at Viper's eco, Viper's score, and thinking, what can they accomplish? They have to build a TC to secure this gold. This TC is going to go down, which is actually a big deal for him. He can't take this gold either. Those are the only golds that he'll have. Now, Viper will have a castle at home to protect him, but there's going to be other resources that are exposed on this side. It's decision-making time right now for Vivi and for Yo. They need to decide on who they hit. This pressure continues. Doubt still doesn't even have a lead skirm. I mean, what is happening right now? Again, I occasionally have to clarify my stance on some things, but if I'm ever like really confused or ever, you know, potentially harsh, it's only because I have really high standards for people. It's like my parents, okay? You know, I came home with my report card and it was all C's, and I was happy about that. And they were disappointed. They said, we're only disappointed because we know you're smarter than that. I don't know if that's a good comparison at all. Viper making a lot of knights. Look at this! There's a castle on either side. This feels like a trap. But a trap for who? Viper's town center is going to go down. And I love the commitment from Yo and from Vivi. I love the commitment here. Yeah, they're going to turn. They're going to fight Viper's army now. There you go. Fight Viper's army now. Viper's going for a full surround. The TC barely helps here. The TC barely helps. Viper's going to get completely smashed. And if he gets smashed here, he might be dead. Because he could lose the rest of his TCs to this. Viper now has no army. He does have a lot in queue. But obviously, plenty of villagers are going to die as he runs away. Meanwhile, Doubt is dying. He's got a trebuchet against bombard cannons. White Wolf Palace. 100 military. They're 90 villagers behind. Did it get higher than C's? No, not really. Nope, not really. Doubt is going for Elite Olbuk. This is a unit that is not known to be strong against archers. He is mainly up against archers. Viper with the damage control. Tato here to help. And okay, now you've got double TC. You've got some Imp army coming here from Tato, so maybe this is enough to clear this. But my goodness. This is a crazy game. I'm really impressed with White Wolf Palace. And I think, you know, like, you have to take everything that's happening here for Dow with a little grain of salt because it's a show match and it's not the tournament in and of itself. But guys, it's not like it's a $20 show match. It's $1,000 here. Okay, that's a ton of cash on the line. Now, it does have 3 relics, though. I'm sure he'll feel very good about that. He's got 3 castles as well. All his farming eco has to be abandoned. And we could see his castles get taken out. Olbucks aren't the most expensive unit ever. And they do have decent attack stats, so they'll be able to take out some units if they get in close. But Vivi should continue with more bomber cannons, and he should continue with more arbs. And hold on a second. What's the Pierce armor on an Olbuck? 6. So not bad. It's not bad, but certainly not good enough to do it all on his own. The next wave has come in here from Vivi and from Yo. Keep in mind, Yo has had to reboom here. Yo is now on the way to the Imperial Age. Viper has not clicked. You have Knights all over Tato here as well. And Tato's got mainly skirmishers, and skirmishers aren't going to be able to move out when there's Knights. Down is working towards his next castle as he's losing more castles. What is happening? And Viper is, you know, I think he's just trying to produce as much army as possible right now. Kind of all in Castle Age. Someone in chat saying this is GG. For who? Was that a town bell for Tato? Oh my god. Tato! What are you ringing the town bell for? Now, I shouldn't really talk because I finally removed the town bell hotkey from my game about, like, a month ago. But a lot of players still have town bell binded to a hotkey. You rarely see that used intentionally at a high level. It's funny how loud it is with Capture H. And Doubt is going to start losing these castles awfully quick. He does have 33 Oblock, though, versus 40 Arbs. Also, I love this from Doubt. Look at all the villagers and Arbalests he's killing. I mean, guys, the economy is still really, really in favor of GamerLegion. And you do have Viper on the way to Imp. But I guess the concern would be the fact that Yo's going to be on Cavalier way faster. This is a good raid from Viper. Doubt loses the castle. Still will need some support from Viper, possibly. I guess Tato's the player who's struggling now. Tato has less economy. Tato cannot compete. Really can't take any gold right now. Which is why he never even researched Arbalest here. He's just been making skirms. Lake's starting to send some food over to Yo so Yo can get his upgrades. I like that. And look at Yo's resources. 40 on food for him. It's 66 on food for Viper, though. I feel like it's very possible for Viper, at least when he gets his imp upgrades, to push his back. And Doubt's doing okay. I mean, he did lose a lot of ground. He did lose a lot of castles. But he hasn't died yet. Viper getting some massive raids in with the light cav spam. And he's on his way to imp. 69 farmers now for him. And he could also go for Cavalier. But Viper needs to support Tato. I think that's the key. I think Viper needs to get... He's actually mixing in some Boyars. He's going to get a lead. Well, that's better than Paladin. But yeah, I think Viper needs to be over here. Like, yesterday. Yesterday, last week, last month, whatever. Like, Tato is dying. Now, Lix is also dying. So it's been worth it. But Lix at least has, like, some level of army. But that might change here. Look at this. Lix distracted at home. He will not be able to push much more. Now we have Paladin on the way for Yo. Again, is there going to be support from Viper over here at Tato's base? You see some support now. Boyars, they have a little... I think they have a little less Pierce armor than a Paladin. I know they have less HP, but they have more melee armor. So if you're comparing Paladin versus Boyar, the Boyar actually win the 1v1 engagement. Another thing to factor into that is that you need castles for Boyars. But there's a new unique tech. I completely forget what it's called. But it does actually make the castles a little bit cheaper in terms of the stone cost. Guys, this is an amazing game. This game is actually better than the first game we had. And there's a chance here that Tato and Viper could get a full surround in on Vivi. All of a sudden, things aren't looking so good for Vivi. And I'm just waiting for Yo to show up somewhere. What a crazy game and an amazing clear up. 450 total population for GamerLegion. 380 right now for White Wolf Palace. You know, Paladins having better Pierce armor than Boyars is not necessarily going to be a factor if Doubt is making Olbuk, right? Like, this is a unit that should perform pretty good against Paladin. It would be this side that's vulnerable if you're Tato. Like, that's where, you know, being up against Paladins is going to really be a problem. The play, like, right now, Lix, he has to continue to make army because he's not going to reboom that easily. He needs to send everything he can onto gold and onto wood and just continue to spam Arbalest. He needs to do that. He is doing that. Lix said, Fat Dragon had dropped the TC here to take some of the gold away from Tato. Viper trying to take that out. But now Viper is needed because the Paladins have arrived. Like we said, a weakness for Tato, particularly because he has so many skirms. And Tato will not take his gold back. We have a castle from Fat Dragon. Meanwhile, we have a clear up from Yo. Yo has 50 Paladins! Yo has the army high. It's all Paladin. That's not easy to do, especially because of how far behind he was compared to Viper. Crazy stuff for him. Viper, though, 70 on food. Is no joke with the Slavs. Viper's position is very good. He's almost at 200 pop. But Tato is going to have continuous problems here. If the Paladin and the Skirm and the Arbalest spam continue over here, Tato will die. Now, guys, pay attention to this because you're going to start to see the markets go up in the corners. The trade will begin. I would love to see these markets a little closer to the edge, but I think Yo is just using these for production, and this is where they'll go. Okay. You see the markets down here. GamerLegion's actually already started trade, but they are not able to trade successfully to the corner because now Yo is checking on this. I think every little bit of gold you can take on the map right now is crucial because you're trying to spend gold for your army, but you're also trying to spend gold for your trade, and you kind of need to do both. If it's ever an either-or situation, you're going to have some big problems. Viper really needs the Hussar upgrade. If you're going to be making this many light cap, surely you need the Hussar upgrade. I don't know if he forgot that Slavs get it, but that seems like a really important thing for him to be doing right now. We have Vivi coming in with the Imperial Skirmisher upgrade. He and his teammates can do that since he's Vietnamese. Since Tato's only making skirmishers over here, that would mean he would win the 1v1. But, of course, it's not a 1v1. It's a 2v1 versus Tato. Look at the castle here from Vivi, by the way. Which will actually show him a gold. And, oh, all of Tato's arms are going to die. Ouch. Man, you got to see a little bit more here from GamerLegion. Finally, the light cav are used. Taking Lix down below 50 villagers again. This castle from Viper was denied at 97%. Keep an eye on the trade, guys. Now there's a bit more trade for the Viper, but he actually, maybe he needs to delete vills here. I'm not sure, like, I guess it's more about pop efficiency. He's got 56 army, but 38 of that is light cav. That is not very strong. 80 HP unit. When you're up against Paladins that are 190 HP. Tato might not be around much longer. This is an incredible comeback from White Wolf Palace. I really didn't think they were going to be able to do it. That said, you know, you have to look back to some of the early stages for someone like Doubt. Like, could it have been stronger? But still, I don't know. I mean, we could see this brought right back. It's not that big of a difference in populations. And look at Viper now. He'll get some big raids in on Lix, who now has, well, he's got an army, but it's not pushing anywhere. And Boyars are going to be hard to stop in the trade. So Doubt's coming over with Olbuk now. They might possibly be able to clear this up. But Viper needs full Boyar. He needs full Boyar. He needs to stop creating vills, maybe delete some vills, and he needs to get the Hussar upgrade. He needs to maximize it with everything he's got. And look at Doubt! Doubt is in Yo's base right now with Olbuk. Again, a very tough unit to deal with Paladin. Olbuk is much cheaper. I've been maintaining, I actually think it's a little too cheap for what it does. It shreds melee units. You need ranged units, and it's going to be very hard to get ranged units when Lix has to be over here all the time. It's incredible. This castle denied, by the way. Vivi wanting to secure this. I love the fact that Vivi's starting to make rats and archers, though. Rats and archers are going to be a tough unit to stop. And I'm also loving the coordination from Vivi and Yo as they head over towards Viper. But they will not be able to break Viper. But what they are doing is sitting in the trade. We even have Vivi starting to trade this direction now because they realize this side is kind of vulnerable and they're losing trade. And this unit, though, this Obuk unit is insane. Like, again, it's too cheap. 91 of them on the map right now for a player who hasn't really had trade. And he's taking out castles from a Vietnamese player, and he already pushed the Frank player and is putting Yo in a nasty position. And this is 100% a tactical pause, probably from WWP, because you're starting to think, like, oh God, what do we do here? But guys, I think GamerLegion takes this game now. I actually think GamerLegion takes this game. I think Viper can just fall back for a bit. Yes. I think he can get enough. Okay, it wasn't a tactical pause, forgive me. I think Viper can fall back and just wait and engage against this. I think Doubt, I mean, we'll see if he can take out these castles. But Doubt has done enough damage against Yo. And we already knew that Yo wasn't going to be able to compete all that well against Bowyards if Viper could make them. If you look at the trade count, the trade count for Viper anyways is very high. Now Tato's the big question mark, but Tato might not even be needed. Like, Yo can't make Paladin anymore because A, the units he's going up against shred him, and B, no gold. And then, like, the only player who's got a ton of military for them now is probably, well, I guess you've got the flanks, right? You've got Vivian, you've got Lix. But man, the damage done there was just insane. Here comes Viper. The second he hears about the Arbalest in the middle of the map, he's going to head over here and hit Lix. Like, super exposed. More castles for Vivi being denied. Actually, no, this one was denied earlier. Excuse me. But yeah, I think Poles, you know, when you think about them as a civilization, it's about cheap units. But the difference between the Obuk and their whole Cavalier play is the fact that the Obuk, I think, are just stronger for what they are. Right? We all know the weakness of Polish Cavalier after their unique tech is the fact that they don't get the final armor upgrade, which is a really big deal with Cav. And they can make tons of them. But for the unique unit to be this cheap, pretty wild. Then again, I'd be really curious to see Doubt's resources collected at the end of the game. Look at Tato and Doubt sharing this gold. Doubt on this gold. He must have found some golds towards the middle or something. He's just had endless resources. Is Murder Holtz researched? Anyone know? Kind of feels like it is. Yeah, it kind of feels like it is. But who even cares? GamerLegion 490 pop. White Wolf Palace 350 pop. This game has been insane, and I think GamerLegion have done it. Or when I say they've done it, obviously we're still a little bit away from that final call. That's a cute little tower there from Fat Dragon. Assuming they see that, though. They should be able to clear the corner. I just don't know what Yo does right now. He could barely produce Paladin. And there's just no gold access right now for White Wolf Palace. I have to say, you know, Doubt made some big mistakes in this game. But he responded. And his macro was very good. Viper's macro as well. I mean, Tato, I think, for him, it was just he had two armies on him for so long. Castle finally goes up here for Vivi. Well played. But the GG's called. They call the game. GamerLegion with the comeback. But it was after a comeback already from White Wolf Palace. I mean, this was the definition of a back-and-forth game. What I loved about this game as well, while it might not have been optimal in how they got there, we got to see a lot of different units as well. We got to see the uniqueness of some of these civilizations. We saw Vietnamese having the Imperial Skirmishers and some Rats and Archers. We got to talk about, you know, the pros and cons. There were obviously some cons early. Poles and how they tend to play out, right? Where you've got the farms around the full works, typically not playing into archers, trying to play into Cav or your Obuk. Malay, we got the fast imp action in from Malay as well. I guess we also had it from Vietnamese. We had the Paladin, we had the Boyar, especially because some of the newer changes too, like Viper having these cheaper castles after that unique tech. Again, maybe someone can say the name of that because you probably did and I forgot about it. Yeah, that was a really good game. Ultimately, Viper was the MVP, right? You had Tato falling behind at times. I don't think there were many reasons for us to really fault Tato. I think it was just because all the pressure was coming over here. Like, he played really well to give Viper the lead over Yo. Obviously, Tato hitting Yo earlier really set him back. But we saw the power of Slabs. We saw the power of Viper there. Viper peak performance. I'm actually curious on his farm count now. I will take a look, and yeah. Like Doubt's gold count is not that insane. And I like the polls. I understand. And I'm also not necessarily a huge proponent of nerfing a lot of civs. I feel like, if anything, we should be buffing any weaker civ. But Doubt's economy, I mean, the food count's high, don't get me wrong. But it's not like he had that much gold. And he was able to push back Licks. Now, granted, he had double the villagers and all that, but still, the Obux looked super, super good there. Now, it's a different game. If Licks actually has economy, and Licks is able to build that economy up, I think Yo doesn't have as many problems against Doubt, because Doubt never has the freedom to leave. Doubt only had the freedom to leave because Viper was hitting Licks, and Licks had so little. But just an incredible game. Look at the KD there for Viper. You can see he one of the few players with a positive KD on his team. He was the only one. Doubt and Tato took a lot of losses there. And then things were pretty good there for WWP as a whole, but still just didn't have enough. I wonder if maybe... It's a game I really don't want to leave yet. I wonder if... Like, what was the mistake here for WWP? I don't think there were many massive mistakes. Honestly, it's like, I would say you just need Licks to be in a better position, and you need Licks to have castles. But he just kept getting hit continuously from Viper. Like, that's the turning point. And then, you know, you get like 50 light cav arriving to your base every 30 seconds. Very hard to control your Arbalest and your Bombard cannons. Yeah, I mean, certainly there were some mistakes earlier. Aishon, like, they fell behind against GamerLegion, and I think GamerLegion should have actually finished off the game earlier than they did. Because the reason Viper was able to carry was due to Yo falling behind, which probably had to do with how Tato got past Vivi. But I'm talking about the mid-game. I feel like they played everything pretty well there. I think maybe what they needed, though, was like a little wall here. Like, they needed this wall up when they were starting to trade. Because Viper was just able to slide through here so many different times. But no big glaring mistakes. It was a really good game. Like, their fast imp with lower eco with Licks was their way back. So you can't even say he needed to add more villas in castle, because then I think they die. Because I think at, let's see, what was his uptime? Okay, so he was up to imp at 30 minutes. I think he was like 30 villagers behind Doubt at 27 minutes. Let me look. 27:30. Probably like 78 villas for Doubt. Okay, I'm way off. Hold on, let's go here. Okay, so 82 vills versus 55. Yeah, I mean, the fast imp was the play. That's just an incredible game. Would Karambit be an answer to Obuk? I don't think so. Because, A, Karambit warriors perform worse against things like archers and paladin. And then B, I think due to the way, I think Obuks have more attack. And I think Obuk shred armor. I'm not sure how much shredding armor really helps against Karambit warriors. I think that Obuk win that. To be honest, though, I haven't really seen that fight much. All right, so I'll be interested to see what changes here. This is game number 3. We're catching up to live time. Apologies for the speed. The reason I said I'll be interesting to see what changes here is because they did address this map. So we have Gurjaras for Yo. This was their first civ pick, okay? And the thing about this map is that players are, regardless of their civ, always going to be prioritizing the shorefish food. Because, or box turtles, excuse me. But bringing in food this way is very fast. And so, with that said, you start with 4 goats around, right? And before it was 8 per player. And so what was happening was, the Gurjara player, new civ, you can garrison the hunt inside the mills. The Gurjara player was receiving 24 sheep, and they were just so broken. Like, you get food so quickly when you already have sheep inside the mills, but they had double mill filled with sheep, and it made Gurjaras very strong. And so, you know, it led to some people saying, okay, well, we need to nerf Gurjaras. And I was like, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Why don't we just maybe adjust the map a little bit? That was my feedback I casted. Had a bunch of other people saying the same thing. And so they adjusted it. So you can see now, Yo, he's got 1 mill filled with 10 sheep. It would have been much more 1 or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Yo is playing the center position for his team. On the right, we've got Vivi, who's playing the Italians. And then over here in the blue, you've got Goths for Licks. I would say we've definitely reached that point where they're picking civilizations, which might not be 100% ideal. Also, what is happening here? The Rhino didn't want to go with Licks, and Licks just said, fine. Oh, he's bringing it to the mill. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I mean, you do kill it pretty fast with Goths. Licks is up against Jordan, who is back. Jordan is the Hunts. First time we'll see Jordan today in this little show match. Then you have Doubt playing the middle position as the Magyars. Expect him to go for scouts. Then you have Viper playing as the Mayans flank. Obviously, the color changing is going to be a bit confusing here. Can't do anything about it, though, because the positions in the game are set to the color, which, you know, I've talked about a million times. I definitely prefer the civilizations overall for GamerLegion, with the exception of the Gurjaras, obviously. I mean, the Gurjaras, I think, have the ability to perform very well here. Just not as well if you saw the earlier stages of Battle of Africa. So it'll, in the end, be 12 goats inside the mills instead of, like... Again, I think if my math is correct, it would have been 24. But obviously, you can only fit 10 in each mill. Can you use capture rate, just change the display color? I could do that, but Doubt was also pink in the previous game, so I'd kind of have to change a lot of colors. What do you guys think about that? I didn't actually think about that. Actually, let's just change... Okay, I mean, we have to do it now if we're going to do it. So, we'll put Viper on yellow. We'll put Doubt on red, and we'll leave Jordan as is. And hopefully I won't get confused with Jordan. But with a new player, obviously, it's going to be the case. So, okay, so now Viper is flank again. Oh, God, no. Now my brain... No, I got to go back. I'm sorry. My brain just got real confused. I can't. I can't. Just imagine Viper is yellow, okay? Just imagine it. Or you could leave a comment. You could leave a forum post or a Twitter post or whatever post to the devs about how team colors shouldn't be tied... Or, sorry, team position shouldn't be tied to color. Because I've been talking about that for a long time. And I believe in the power of the people. And I believe that Goths are really annoying to play against. Look at Jordan. He's trying to go up to Feudal. He is on his way. And here comes Licks with a Villager and 4 Militia. He's not even stopping there, guys. He's making a 5th. He's making a 6th. He's going to take more food and just try and keep Jordan off of this food. All right. Well, it's not going to be so easy for Doubt to deal with this right now. You don't start with the scout in this game. You start with just a camel. You can't fight with the camel, so we have to wait for the stable, then wait for the scouts. And I like this play from Licks to try and head over here and find what Doubt's up to. We should have archers from Vivi, and we do. We should have archers from Viper, and we do. I have seen Goths picked a lot on this map to do precisely what Licks is doing. And Doubt is going for another stable? Is this Tuesday? And to be clear, the downside of going double stable scouts is simply the fact that you're going to eventually run out of food. In a normal game, you're going to run out of food, and you won't be able to keep the stables producing as much as you need it. However, he brought in a lot of it, and Magyar scouts are cheap, and right now he just needs some numbers. So it's very rare to see this, and his stables will eventually be idle, I think, after the next 4 scouts. But the 4 scouts is what he needs. I actually really like that play from Doubt. He just went over to berries, and then he says, okay, I'm fine now. And he goes out here to the shorefish. Meanwhile, we have 2 spearmen, 1 archer. This is going to annoy Licks. And we've seen Gots picked a lot for this. Because when you look at a draft, you know, you just can't have the best civs all the time. But man, oh man, is that going to suck. Over here, the scouts for Yo. Yo, also double stable. Did something change when I was gone for a week? Everyone's doing it now? Okay. I like it. I really like it a lot. The food income's fast enough, so why not? Where would this army go for Yo? Yo is over here. He's probably been told to go this direction. He runs directly into some archer shots from Viper. Not a good start here for WWP. I do like how this was walled in, which will annoy Jordan, but I just don't see how Lix doesn't take significant damage here. And this is enough. Like, this could snowball out of control. Lix will have no army, but he does have more men-at-arms being built over here. Okay. Obviously lost all of his other ones, so Doubt's going to run forward now. Trying to find Doubt's scouts at the moment. Here they go. So they're heading over here towards Lix. Yeah, Lix could die to this. I guess it's a positive, though. He is almost off of all of his shorefish. He hits Feudal. Lix man-at-arms. He's going to do his best to get this tower down. Meanwhile, we have 2 players on Viper. We have Yo on Viper, and we have Fat Dragon on Viper. And Doubt is very close. So it's weird to me that Doubt would just not come over here to support the Snake. It should be a team decision, but with Doubt being so close, and Viper probably communicating that there's scouts and archers here earlier, remember Yo was here, this has kind of hung Viper out the dry here, and Viper is in big trouble here. Now what Vivi should want to do is you should focus the archers every time he sees them. Viper recovers a little bit. At the same time, though, you know, Lix is getting hit. And now this pressure, I love the immediate switch here from Doubt and from Jordan. They said, okay, let's just hit Yo. I think Yo sees this. Yo has to drop a tower, and oh man. The big thing here is he's off of food. But look at Lix. Lix is going in with man-at-arms on Doubt's food. Now there's a chance. Doubt's like, oh, I'm killing everything. I'm killing everything. Yes, I'm a god. Yes, this is so satisfying. Ooh, ah. Meanwhile, Doubt has to react over here, and he does react very quickly, to his credit. His tower doesn't, or hasn't accomplished that much. Most of the villagers died. Yo is down to 22 villagers. And I think the villagers in here will also die. Viper's eco is looking pretty good. The army count is also looking really good for GamerLegion. And obviously, the access to food is still here for every single player on GamerLegion. And, I mean, for Yo, I mean, you need army. But how do you make army if you don't have the food income? It'd be much worse if he wasn't Gurjara's, right? So I think this game is quickly getting out of hand right now. We should see Viper confidently moving forward against Vivi soon. Here he is working with Doubt, and this pressure could go anywhere. It could hit Vivi. It could hit Lix. Man-at-arms get into Doubt's wood line, though. Doubt, you know, I kind of forgot about them as well, so I guess he forgot about this. He might also be surprised. I don't think he knows this barracks is over here. I'm sure he's saying something like, frickin' Lix, man. But 20 vills now for Yo. Just not good at all for him. And yeah, now you've got a defensive tower for Vivi, as he can't defend on his own. I have to say, Viper's micro has looked amazing this game. There was also some pretty technical micro when he was outnumbered at his base a little while ago. Like right there, like stuff like that. Like he's outnumbered. And maybe not the best time to compliment him now, but yeah, okay. It's still decent. Doubt having fun, though. Viper having fun. Killing villagers. And this is not a winnable game now for WWP. Viper, again, great micro. Best player in the world, by the way. And just gonna... Oh, good micro. Yep. Really microed his own archer down while getting hit in the face. And here come the scouts for Doubt. Now we've got Spearman and Man-at-Arms for Lix. Lix almost has the highest fill count for his team, which is kind of funny. Okay, at this point, Viper needs to send archers over here. Jordan needs to send archers, or Viper needs to send archers, because this is a little scary. Jordan on the way to Castle Age. I'm sure Doubt is still like, guys, Send me just like 4 archers, and this would be a much better fight for me. Running away. Being patient. Still taking food, though. That's the important thing. I'm going to have a push forward from Jordan and Viper on Vivi. And the Fat Dragon, he's not fat enough to deal with 2 archer players like this, and he has to leave his gold. Now you have Doubt. I guess Doubt's going to get cleared back here. Finally, a small victory for Yo. He was about to lose a mill with all of his goats, so he clears that up. And I guess the fight was taken here. At the same time, Lix ended up losing everything to the scouts. And Yo's going to try and do damage with the scouts now, so finally an opportunity to move forward. By the time he makes it to Jordan's base, though, Jordan should have crossbow and bodkin. But the woodline's super vulnerable. And obviously, Yo is going to have to deal with more pressure at his base pretty soon. So, could be problematic. And it's not like Doubt doesn't have scouts right now. Doubt's got 11 scouts, which is more than Yo. How dare you put Viper not in yellow? Viper chose red. He could have gone pocket. He played really well in the previous game. Now, I get what you guys are saying with like changing the color within Capture Age. I started off the game though without it, and it was just a little weird for my brain. But yeah, ideally the colors would stay consistent from game to game, make a little bit more sense. This is something Doubt will need to track. Lix just being Lix. And the scouts are in on the woodline. I mean, we did have a really good comeback in the previous game. So maybe it's on the cards here. Yo is killing villager after villager. We have cav archers now for Yo. Or for Jordan, excuse me. And Jordan just fights it. He says, you know what? Who cares? I don't want to run all the way back to my TC and lose the villagers anyways. So I'll just fight it off so they do some damage and wait for my army. Another barracks here for Lix, who continues to spam. Like, look at this. He's got man-at-arms spearmen, man-at-arms spearmen. Reminds me of Loey the Legend over here. But yeah, this game is over. The GG's called. Was over for a while there. I think the difference, guys, is Goths. Like, I understand the approach. You have to make it wacky. When you look at the draft, I'll just toggle right over to that. Occasionally, you just have to go for something that's insane. Goths was a very low pick there. They have to use those civilizations eventually. You can see it at the bottom right. And I have not seen playing with Goths like this be successful yet. Because even if you do something really well, like there's some damage done on Jordan, the Goth player is going to end up being really exposed. And if the Goth player is really exposed, that pressure just swings right over to the pocket. Kind of how things played out here. Goths are a tricky civ, right? Because you don't, like, what's strong for them is cheaper infantry. And the fact that they can get loom instantly. So you want to use that cheaper infantry. You want to use that forward villager. Also, I have to say, full credit to Doubt. Doubt did a really good job. Now, the double stable thing is probably more meta now than it was like 2 weeks ago when I saw some games with this. Because we saw the same thing from Yo. But it was really good patient play from Doubt. Every time that he would be fighting with his one army and get hit by Lix at the same time, he'd always react at his base. If there's ever a time not to react, it's when you have like something very important to do with your own army. So I think Doubt had a really good game. Also, maybe a little sloppy from Yo initially, because there was the double army over here at Viper. He did lose some scout HP. But then again, you've got Mayans. Mayans in the hand of someone like Viper, very dangerous. Their archers are incredibly cheap. Their eco is strong. And yeah, we barely talked about Viper's economy. We barely talked about Jordan's economy. We were constantly talking about the villagers over here on the WWP side. In terms of the whole series, very important for WWP to win this one. I think it'd be very tough for them to be able to bring it back against GamerLegion if they end up going 3-1 down. The top players still all have very good win rates versus Wong. Yeah, they do. I think part of it, too, is just like how much certain people enjoy the reactions, because like so many people don't like playing against him, so then it gets like everyone all energized, like, ooh, let's watch this. Hey, Lix, are you going to finish your houses, bro? Welcome to game number 4, by the way. Lix forgot houses exist. Hello? Oh, it's because the yurts. Ah, okay. So I was going to say, because, like, you should have noticed that by now. So you start with yurts. So I think you have a total of 15 pop space. And so he remembered that because this was his instinct. And he's going to save them for later. Okay, so Lix is the flank for his team. He's playing as the Vikings here. His pocket, surprise, surprise, Yo, playing as the Persians. And the teal, then we have Fat Dragon, who's playing as the Korean. Sorry, I was away for a week. It's been a while since I've done that. In the red, we have Tatito. Tato playing as the Portuguese. The pocket, then, is the Snick. And Mr. Snake Man is already docking. Already has docked, excuse me. I'll talk about how he was able to do that so quickly in a second. And then here in the purple, we have Hindustanis for Jordan. Bit of an interesting choice because Hindustanis do not get Arbalest. And typically you see the flank players playing with a lot of archers. But the consistent thing we have talked about is that over the course of a full series, you can't always have your most ideal civilization everywhere. It's just how it goes. Big moment here. If Tato is able to kill this villager, a lot is going to be accomplished, but no. Not yet. But will Jordan be able to finish it? Oh, man. Yo's got to be really happy that he didn't end up losing this villager. Okay, so Persians start with plus 50 wood and plus 50 food in the bank, guys. And so what Yo did, actually, villager will die now. Great job from GamerLegion. Oh, the dock did complete. I don't want to freak out and say this is over or anything. But Viper already has 3 fishing ships. And Yo has to send a villager across the whole map to finish the dock. And then he has to make the fishing ships. And there's no guarantee he even finishes the dock. The Lithuanians, they start with an additional 150 food. And so with that food, what you can do is you can say, screw it. I don't need to take food underneath my TC like everyone else does. And you can go to wood early. And what Viper did is he actually took straggler trees. He ran forward, he docked, and now he's going to place a lumber camp very late compared to what everyone else has done. But man, that was such a bad spot. I think in the end, Viper should just try and kill Yo's scout. You have Fat Dragon coming over here. I don't know if this is actually worth it for Viper to try and kill the Vil. Obviously, if he kills it, it'll be fantastic. Yeah, Snake got a little greedy there, but what a massive lead he has now. Viper lost a Vil to the Rhino underneath the TC. Did he? Can we go back real quick? Okay, we went way, so much. Oh my god. It wasn't underneath the TC, man. It was out here. I guess that was when he was using a scout. Well, rip. Okay, so he could be further ahead and he lost a villager. Well, that's a little embarrassing for him. Okay, so it might be a good time to bring up that I did tweet Viper, and I said, delete a villager in Feudal Age, and I'll try and look for it. I don't think he ever deleted a villager in Feudal Age. Maybe that was just him trying to follow up with what I asked him on Twitter. I don't think that was intentional from Viper at all. It was clearly intentional, and he's on his way up already. All right. Kareem says, Hola, señor T90. ¿Cómo estatitos todos buenos? I have no clue what you said, but I hope that sounded right. Hola, amigo. No habla español. How do you say please speak English? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I cheated in Spanish class growing up. I'm really sorry. Uptime pretty quick here for Vivi. Again, you're expecting archers. Now, the important thing that separates the players in the middle is, do they send any villagers to gold? And what I've seen as the consistent theme is you don't commit fully to the gold, but you just walk over to it like this. And Yo is actually, okay, this is different. Yo is actually building a mining camp. Now, if he builds a mining camp, he's not going to have the wood for a barracks and then a stable. And that's pretty crazy, too, because he's only on one dock. It's not like he's making a second dock, but it looks like okay, maybe he's about to try that. I don't know, like, what this will lead to is Yo ultimately winning water. But the problem I see is the fact that then his teammates won't have scout support. But I guess he doesn't want Viper to have the fish boom, so maybe feeling like he was behind, he's going to switch it up a little bit. Por favor, hablas inglés. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. I will know that for next time. Scout here from Fat Dragon looking to get some damage in on Tato. Tato had some hilarious quick walls to start off the day. If you guys didn't see it, might see a clip around in the near future. Double range for Tato. Doesn't lose the Vil. Good work. And we have double... No, actually, we have one range fast blacksmith here for Vivi. Koreans already get the armor upgrade for free in each age. So, in terms of the upgrades, Vivi's going to be really far ahead, but he's going to lack the numbers. Over on this side, we're going to see an archery range for Jordan. Up against double archery range from Lix. Vikings always feel very strong here. They do get the... Vikings get wheelbarrow for free, and then handcart and castle age, so they feel very strong for that reason. And yeah, I mean, this is where Viper will just try and kill fish. So what you should see now from Lix, or not Lix, excuse me, Yo, is you should just stop production of water, add fishing ships. But does he have a barracks yet? No. Viper's already got scouts out and about. So I guess like what you should say to your teammates, if you're Yo, is you should say don't move out. I think. Because he's going to catch up eventually in theory, right, with fishing ships. And if he does that, then he could add scouts later. But there will definitely be more army on the map. Or maybe not the map. Everything's the map but the land. Whew. Okay. Guys, if we could actually keep it in English. I feel lost at sea right now. We got a global audience over here, you know? I don't want things to get too crazy. What's next? People are going to ask me to speak German words. I can't speak German either. Yeah, archers for Jordan not heading towards Lix, and then Lix is not heading towards Jordan either. He's actually heading towards the Viper right now. You can see Viper's over here with his teammate Tato. Love the tower spot for Vivi, though. I'm not sure how I feel about the one archer range thing. And he also is moving out right now, but it just feels like suicide to move out like this. You guys liked the 200 flaming camels? Good. Yeah, we should do more T90 trolls soon, so I'm glad you guys like that. Viper doesn't have upgrades yet. Clearly wants to kill this. Kind of rusty there for Viper. Who is about to get a hit on his woodline, and I don't think he'll expect this. Meanwhile, Yo has added a bit more in the way of fish. Yo is now adding the market. Yo is towering his gold. I mean, Yo wants to go up to Castle H here. That's his plan. Tato lost a Vil, wasn't able to get there. Interesting how little the additional scouts have done, and now Viper's getting wrecked. He's losing tons of villagers. I feel like Lix and Vivi have just gotten away with it here. Like, they should have been outnumbered on land. But they were the ones who took the initiative in moving out, I guess. Like, look at Tato. Double range. Still hasn't done any damage against Vivi. And then I guess we have... Oh, no, it's just a scout for Jordan. So, I mean, Jordan has done nothing against Lix either. Now, in the end, Viper pulls back. And Viper is going to clear this. But he did take a lot of losses there. And his eco's not looking too good. Again, he's got no fish. The thought was he would lose his fish, but he'd have good land economy, good control with his teammates. That didn't happen here. Yo, Dan, welcome. He says, made an account just to watch the stream. Love your vids. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Thanks for showing up. And that's a lot of army, though, for Tato, and it's a lot of army for Jordan. Love Yo's approach, though. He knows he's going to get hit. He's placed the tower. I'd love to see a couple walls, because sometimes the players could sit underneath the tower. And he is going to click up here to the next stage any second. But again, you need walls here. You cannot let them dive underneath your tower. It would be such a rookie mistake to not have walls up. And Jordan's going to sit underneath it. Oh, now, hold on. I think like half this army... Okay, now he's got them positioned. Yeah, this is just bad. Right? Everything was good about this, except you just have to get walls around this. Good players. I mean, great move from Jordan, we have to say. Good players. They're going to dive that tower. I don't know why he's moving now, though. Oh. Woo, it hurts. In the end, Yo is going to have a knight in a second that will deal with this. So I'm sure he'll be fine. We have the army moving forward here from Tato. And he kind of, sort of denied that range there. Yo, also is on stone here and pre-tower this, which is kind of funny. I guess Vivi's coming over here to help right now. And how's Viper doing right now? Viper's having a rough time. Viper with 600 gold, having to place a tower on his gold right now. He'll sacrifice his scouts because he wants to get the tower up. But what Lick should do is the same exact thing we just saw. He should sit right underneath the tower. Yep. Sit right underneath the tower and just don't move. Yeah, Jordan got really antsy. Jordan started to move around. Just don't do it. Just don't move. Don't move, obviously, until you see army. But yeah, like, you know, maybe, you know, it's clear with some of my casts here that I haven't fully figured out the meta for some of these maps yet. Because the double dock approach is looking pretty good right now. I do think that Viper and Tato, or Viper and Jordan, had opportunities that they wasted to pressure the opposition here, but Viper's in a really bad position. He can't support his team at all. Placing a tower here that might not even go up. He's got to be real careful. Look at all these villagers going to place the tower. And, oh, he almost opened the gate. Oh, no way. The gate's open. Viper's like, welcome to my home. That, you know, it's just an Age of Empires thing, man. I mean, some people are going to say, dumb villagers, dumb pathing. But when your units get hit, they move around. And there were so many of them. There was no room for that guy to move properly. And he just bounced her out, opened the gate. Sometimes players expect stuff like that, and they'll pre-lock the gate. But, you know, Lix was just at the perfect spot. I guess, you know, having left the gold, he of course, went to the wood line. Wow. Okay, I mean, Jordan's army could be in trouble here, because Yo might be able to catch that. We'll see where Yo's sending the knights, but Yo's sending the second TC. And, guys, anytime Yo has this big of a lead in pocket, his team just rarely loses. It was kind of similar to, remember the game earlier, game number 2, the Savannah game, where Viper had that big lead. They're the best players on their teams, and if they get big leads over each other, generally, the player with the stronger pocket's going to win. Yeah, I think we have some big problems here for Jordan, because he doesn't have any army at home, but at the same time, he is going to send the army in over here, and let's see Lix's reaction, because Lix could lose his entire wood line. Doesn't have Town Watch, and Jordan, just run in here first before you fire. Oh, yeah, get in. See, because look, the villagers have to run this way, right? So this is the correct positioning. Now, he's got to do damage control as well, and losses are going to be coming in hot and heavy, but I love the positioning there from the crossbows from Jordan. And both players still with some opportunities. But right now, it looks like Jordan actually has the better of the engagements. Meanwhile, we have crossbow versus crossbow on this side. This is pretty even. Viper, though, at 31 villagers. And it is currently 50 eco for Yo. Oh, man, Jordan just lost. So there's 3 crossbow losses. Kind of looks like 3 crossbow losses for him. He's now behind an army. I think Lix should be able to recover from this. And I think this puts a lot of pressure on Tato, who is slightly ahead of Vivi right now. But the term slight is the thing you'll need to remember, because it's not like he's got a massive lead. Yo signals Jordan's army on Lix's woodline before Lix spotted it. Did he really? I didn't see that ping. Doesn't surprise me with Yo. Yeah, I think this might be close to over. I mean, Viper he's got to go full army to try. And he is Lithuanian, so he could maybe get relics. You get +1 attack on your knights per relic, but this is bad. And yeah, they tap out. A very quick game. WWP tie it up. Good series here. And probably the most lopsided game we've seen, but not exactly how I expected it to go down. I felt like, as I stated like 3 or 4 times, the opportunity was certainly there. Yo made 0 army in Feudal Age. Viper made 5 or 6 scouts. Did Yo take any damage? Nope. Did Viper take damage? Yup, he took tons of it. You have to make it count somewhere. I mean, great defense from Vivi here with the tower. But what's funny to me is how Vivi and Lix had no support and just ran out. Which on paper is really bad, because there's more enemy army out there. But they were able to evade and sneak around, slither into the snake's base, which is kind of funny. And yeah, everything ended up working out there. GG. Viper's pretty much out of the game. You have no fish. You need to focus land. Didn't have it. Yo was going to have so much fun with that. Only killed 14 units in that game. He did have a pretty incredible KD. Economically, though, would have grown in his lead of every resource. And we have a 2-2. And yeah, ladies and gents, as we catch up to live time, welcome. Game number 5 here in a $1,000 show match. I think somebody did tell me it was actually White Wolf Palace hosting. I don't know if they have an official sponsor. Maybe it was their communities or something, but White Wolf Palace, they tied it up, scores 2-2. And for WWP, no surprise, we have the same positions. We've got Fat Dragon on the flank. The Fat Dragon playing as the Ethiopians. The pocket is Yo. Yo is playing as the Khmer. And then the other flank is Lix. I think Lix and Vivi, or Lix and Fat Dragon, I think they've had very good games today. Like, I don't think there's any moments where I could look back and say they really underperformed, so happy to see that. Byzantines for Lix, if you didn't catch that. He's up against Jordan. Jordan playing as the Mongols. And you can see a lot of players trying to push and hunt from the middle. You can go out there eventually, but at this time, if you could push in as much hunt, your TC, obviously, you don't need to take that much of a risk. In the yellow, you don't have Viper. You have Doubt. Doubt is playing as the Teutons. And then, last but not least, we have Tato playing as the Bohemians. I think the northern side, the Bohemians versus Ethiopians, is going to be fun to watch. Bohemians are insane when playing into mass archers because they get their gold mining upgrades for free in each age. It's such a crazy eco bonus. I actually still think it's almost too strong. But you know what? You have Ethiopians who receive plus 100 food, plus 100 gold when they arrive to each age, and their archers fire faster. So for Bohemians, I think it's going to be massing the archers and maybe rushing chemistry in Castle Age. For Ethiopians, obviously making use of the archers you have because they do perform a little better. Other things to break down would be Byzantines. Again, if we're expecting archers, Byzantines, they can advance faster to the, or cheaper, sorry, to the Imperial Age, which can lead to a faster Imperial Age, obviously. And I guess for Jordan, you'd have no direct archer bonuses, no bonuses beyond the hunt that really stands out as the Mongols. And when you look at the Teutons, Teutons are a bit slow, which may or may not be a factor here. Teutons do get all the way to Paladin, though. Have fantastic economy. Khmer can get battle elephants. But, you know, if they're going to stick with the traditional route and go for knights, they only max out a cavalier. Gunter says, I thought Vivi had quit AoE too. Yeah, Vivi and a bunch of other people, but here we are, right? I think for Vivi, the reasons were a little different. But, you know, people get burnt out. People get, you know, frustrated at times. And they think the grass is greener. They look around after a couple months and say, what was I thinking? So I'm glad to have Vivi back. So Jordan milling here. He's taking the hunt. And then Doubt is milling here to take the fish. The approach on the other side, though, is to not take it at all. Like, I'm not seeing any risks being taken. I kind of like... So you can look at it two different ways. I kind of like how they're sticking together here. Because they can communicate. Jordan can say, hey, someone's coming towards us. And they're in the same spot, so they kind of can keep each other protected. Let's say there's scouts around and you make spearmen. It can protect both of you. Also, at the same time, though, being in the same spot means you could both die if you don't protect yourself properly. So it's very tricky. AoE2 is like the Mafia. You can't quit. I don't know. I don't know if I could make any comparisons to the Mafia personally. I'm not too informed on that, though I did watch The Sopranos. But yeah, I mean, it's a timeless game, right? It's like, you know, it's really hard for me to enjoy other games like I can enjoy AoE2. I think that's part of it. Also, a big part, if we want to be honest, for players who try and move on to other games, if they're well established within one particular scene, this is not even, I'm not even talking just AoE2. You move on and you're a streamer and you start to get way less viewers and subs, or you're just not as good and you just can't be as dominant, so which means like less prize pool money, or that means, you know, less feeling like a god. You might end up just shifting your way back to where you're already having all those things. Even if the game itself isn't necessarily tickling your fancy like it used to, there might be some other reasons there too. And that can depend on the individual. All right, so, I mean, Tato right now, his resources are looking fantastic. And to me, this looks like a fast castle for Tato. It also looks like a fast castle for Licks on this side. And we'll see how that develops, right? Because we're going to have army, I believe, from Jordan yet. Jordan's going to actually make his archer range in the middle where Dowd is making his stable. Over here, you have Vivi opening up with archers, more the standard approach. And then here you're going to have... Where is that stable? Ah, okay. There's the stable there for Yo. So, yeah, one player going fast castle on either side. It's just that they're on opposite sides from each other, these fast castle players. And I think the coordination between Jordan and Dowd are going to be really important here. I'm looking at Dowd right now. And, yeah, you can see a signal from Jordan. And they're saying, let's go here. So we'll see what Vivi ends up doing with his army. Because if he goes forward, he won't have any support for Yo. And Yo could have some problems here. Yeah, and I think those problems are heading towards his base right now. At the same time, there will be some reward for Fat Dragon sitting here. It won't be the end of the world for Tato, but Tato will have to reposition off his berries a little. And oh my god, guys. There's a hole here. Oh my god. That is like... It's such an obvious hole for us. I still think Tato could have maybe checked that, but you can see what he was assuming. Now, you are Khmer if you're Yo, so you can hop inside your houses, but that means your villagers still aren't working. And so I think Vivi is going to be getting asked by Yo to send some level of support. And that army is probably on the way back right now. Yep, here comes the army. So yeah, it works out for Tato. He's going Market Blacksmith. Interesting choice here for Tato, who, by the way, is going to cut through eventually here. You can pay attention to this if you're in Tato's position and queue up your villagers to go to the next trees. I think he's doing that. Look at this from Yo, though. Like, Yo really concerned about his villagers. It's just 2 players versus 1. I think this has worked out for GamerLegion. Like, good patience from Yo. He has not lost a villager yet. But obviously hasn't been able to take the food that Dowd's been able to take and Jordan's been able to take. And now he'll be able to get back to work. Now, Jordan wasn't really sure about Vivi's army, I guess, so he decided to tower. I don't hate that. And again, that tower protects 2 players. So that's really good work. Tato on the way to Castle H. Tato's not on stone. He actually sold his stone. If it was old Bohemians before the monastery prices were changed, I would say this is going to be all-in Monk Siege. But even then, that would be a little questionable. I don't know. Is he going to, like, open university and go hand cannons or something crazy? Now we have a barracks coming up. So if you're going to go archers or stable, whatever, you need to have the barracks first. So when you see someone go Market Blacksmith, that normally means it's going to be monks or siege. Because then they'd also have to add a barracks and then also have to add whatever else if they're going to, you know, go for traditional military. Tato still doesn't know about this hole. And he has no army that he's going to try and send out of his base yet. He still has no clue about that. And if you're Yo and Vivi, you're going to assume that there's no holes. So you're going to do exactly what's happening here. Tato's going to need a house here. I don't think there's a hole there. Yeah, obviously a lot of pressure coming in. And now Dal and Jordan are hearing about it to go support. Okay, there's spearmen. I assume we're going to see a siege workshop here. Tato going siege. Monk. Not sure if I like that. Oh, God. Are they going to find the hole? Oh, God. Please tell me they find it. No, they have no reason to look over there. Ah! They don't know what we know. Oh, man. Yo hears the call. Okay, Vivi's going to see it now. Vivi's going to see this now. And I think Dowd's going to see it as well. Yeah, so now Tato should know. They're going to be like, wait, what? And I guess it ends up helping them, kind of. Because now Vivi can't leave. But, I mean, if there's any leftover army whatsoever here for WWP, Tato's screwed. I just don't think there's going to be any. That's funny. Yeah, look, Yo has to leave. And now Tato can just plug the gap. That's ridiculous. Anyways, Tato's got his siege. Tato's got his monks. We see a signal here, I think, from Jordan. He's like, hey, it's going to be siege monk on this side. And I'm sure they all know the strengths of the plan because they both have a player doing it. I think what you really need to keep alive, though, is the scouts. Look at this, Tato. Oh, he has to sacrifice the Vil. And don't tell me the monk will get shot down from the archers. Yeah, you got to keep the scouts alive against those monks. That'd be a really big deal. The scouts here from Doubt could take out these archers now that he's got... Actually, he doesn't have upgrades, but still should be able to clear it. Very awkward right now for these spearmen because there's archers, but then it's awkward for the archers because there's siege. It's tricky. Oh, big shot here. Look at this. And Jordan also trying to dipsy doodle his way around some of the siege just so he can take out the monks. Done a really good job here, Jordan. Like, so far, I think this is looking better for GamerLegion. Because Tato is kind of advancing freely for the moment. That said, we have a Scorpion now. Jordan needs to move away. And Jordan has to be careful with his villagers. But again, if scouts come out, it's a difference maker. Okay, villagers should hop inside the ram, possibly. It'd be awkward for Jordan's villagers, though. Like, Jordan's villagers are now trapped. But I guess Doubt's got a lot of scouts. And well played from Doubt. Yo showing up. I feel like it would be better for Yo to be over here, but it's still such an awkward little push. Look at Lix. He's like, I will repair the ram as you hit it. Monk pops out. Probably not what you would want there. I think a couple more spearmen right now from Lix would be so helpful. Because the archers are gone for Jordan. Scout, v scout, v scout, v scout. Great support from Doubt. Doubt's now mixing in knights as well. Keep in mind that monks, when Teutons are on the team, are not going to be all that valuable. And look at the work here from Doubt and Jordan. The whole push is getting cleared up on this side. Guys, that actually just clicked with me. Why would you ever try and go monks when there's Teutons on the other side in the first place? That makes zero sense. Like, that Teuton resistance to conversions is so strong that I think that you should never really make more than one monastery when Teutons are on the other team. You know, hindsight's 2020. I would have preferred to see the Byzantine player just open archers then. That would have been fine. Town center in the middle for Jordan, which secures a lot of this food. Obviously, he's letting out a little sigh right around now. Sigh of relief. Economically speaking, things are pretty close. Military lead, though, is there for GamerLegion. Doubt adding the second town center now. Same with Yo. So those guys are pretty close. I think this middle area is still going to be an area that's awkward for Yo, but he doesn't have that many villagers there, I suppose. And, well, okay, we have monks, and we have siege again. Now, Doubt and Jordan need to respect this. I don't know what Jordan's doing right now. Is this the play? I guess he's just going to take the monks. I would have said just have a little more patience here, but they said screw patience. I can micro, and man, can he micro. But he still has to take the spears. In the end, I think they'll end up clearing all this. They didn't want to wait for Doubt to send more army. I think maybe it was too wasteful. I mean, I could have seen them clearing that with just knights, but whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. Meanwhile, really crazy fight over here. And Vivi needs to focus down the monks himself, something he is doing. So Tato losing a lot of his monks. Tato, though, you can see he's converted some units here, right? He's able to do that because there's no resistance on the other side. And very good fight for Tato. Obviously, losing the monks is a little painful. Overall, though, I think we'll be pretty happy with the situation. There's only 3 crossbows right now for Vivi. Vivi's really struggling to ever push. And, like, how can you push? How can you push Siege, Knight, Monk? It's just so awkward on your own. I'm sure Lix right now is saying he needs some support. And Yo is going to send that support soon, but what do you do? like, what's your plan right now if you're Lix, except doubling and tripling down on the same thing that hasn't worked so far? Yeah, also Jordan having all that hunt in the middle is really good. I think there's actually a world here, because you're far enough ahead where you could start to go to stone a little early if you're Jordan. But I guess he would need to get to the outer edge for that. I don't think there's any stone in the middle. Yeah, another fight here. This is just not a winnable fight on your own. And waiting to see Yo. Yo pops out. This is where the monks and the siege should pop out as well. There's so many monks in here. Oh, man. But it's like he can't pop out with the monks because they won't get conversions in time. Well, okay, here he goes. Here he is. Outruns. Okay, they've still got a chance here. Army count obviously still pretty low. Look at this from Tato, by the way. Trying to sneak up this siege workshop. I don't know if this is him intentionally dodging shots or if the villager's just running because he's getting hit. I think it's very likely that villager will end up dying. Tato doesn't... Yeah, he's not noticing that. She's dead. But as her hopes and dreams of a peaceful life are destroyed, an archery range from Fat Dragon's been destroyed. And that's all he's been working off of. The push does continue, though, from Lix and from Yo. Lix, probably the most stubborn player in this series, just continues to try. He says, screw it, I'll just make more monks. Who cares? He's going to run out of gold here eventually. Tato does have a very good economy over here. 2 TCs, adding the third now. Probably won't complete the siege workshop, but look at this. You have the knights from Doubt, and he will take out the siege, which will just mean that more painful things are going to happen to Vivi here. Tato getting a few conversions on the pikemen. And I don't know... Okay, Tato getting redemption. So now that he knows his opponent's going defensive siege, he can now convert that after redemption. So Yo is needed on this side to have any type of a push. Be successful. And then he's very much needed to save his teammate on the other side. And Lix is going up to Imp! So he can get more range on his monks that are now dying. So painful, man. I feel like Doubt should just dive in and kill these monks. Even if he gives away a couple conversions, I think it's fine. Just kill the monks. I think it's the first conversion I've seen Lix get. Meanwhile, the TC has been eaten over here by Tato on Fat Dragon. Looks like these villagers just destroyed an outpost, and now they're going to make another monastery. Perfect. They have no hope but God at this point. Can't blame them too much. Doubt should just continue to make knights. Doubt's economy is incredible. I mean, Yo has done similar things. Yo is also mixing in light cav, which is a good addition. I like that a lot. It's a little awkward for Vivi as he's running past an area that isn't completely secure by Yo, but... You know, we'll see what these villagers end up doing, because here comes Doubt. He's diving in right for this area. In the end, I guess he's got some weak knights, but still just so awkward. And, okay, we have a pause. Tactical pause. Maybe a dog is barking. Maybe a child is crying. But, I don't know, man. I just don't think Fast Imp to give 12 range on your monks really solves the problem here. I think the problem is how long it takes to get conversions. Ooh, Jordan, though. Ooh, big mistake there. He didn't get a single shot with that. And he just deletes the siege workshop. Okay, pressure is mounting. Yeah, I saw Vivi research guard tower. If he had a couple guard towers here, that'd be decent. Look at Jordan, though. Opts out of the town center. That's some nasty micro. Takes out the siege. We now see Imp for Lix. Meanwhile, there's just red dots everywhere over here. Tato even converted some light cav. So this still hasn't even been addressed. And Doubt is going to start being able to pressure Yo a little bit more. And Vivi is just really dead compared to... Oh my god, Tato, but not only is Fat Dragon killing the villagers, but he killed the goat. He says, I'll take your villagers and I'll take your pets or your food or whatever as well. I mean, Tato will have some siege, but a little sloppy there from Tato. Good fight there from Vivi. More monks have died. Great job from Jordan to just boldly move out, because these monk siege pushes, I know we're talking about Teutons a lot. Boom! Decent shot. Obviously, having Teutons has helped. Amazing micro again from Jordan. He's going to really have to have his micro on display, though, because there's another shot. that could come in, and it does. But even if he loses this entire army, which I don't even think he will, Jordan has just done a really good job whittling down those numbers. Ouch. But yeah, he continues to take out the siege. He's dropping a castle here now. The monks will do nothing. Finally, this gets addressed in some capacity. But the damage has been done. These crossbows making a move. Should run into castle fire, TC fire, everything. And look at this. Dowd is in. Dowd has actually made it underneath Lix's TC. So now Lix has this to deal with. As he will likely also lose everything on this side. The micro from Jordan, though. Monks converting crossbows. Oh. God, what a disaster game for Lix. Is this not, though, just a really bad strat? Yeah, we got Yo doing some good damage to Dowd here. He definitely did a bit more earlier. But it's just such a bad strategy. Obviously, they know what Teutons do, right? It's not like this is their first rodeo. I just keep looking at it and shaking my head. Tato made perfect sense. Really good civilization for it. He has executed well. Maybe they thought they could get away with something against the Mongols. Maybe they thought the Mongols would, like, go for a fast castle drop or something and it could be denied. But Jordan, he's now switching into the Mangudai. 88 villagers. Total vill count much higher for GamerLegion. And look at this. The Knights from Dowd can actually loop into Yo's eco. Now Yo has to respect that, as he also has to deal with this. Yo has not had a bad game. Yo has had a pretty good game. But his flanks have just gotten completely destroyed here. And he's tried his best to prop them up where he can, but to me, it hasn't looked realistic in quite a while, as we have Tato on the way to Imp. Good micro from both. Probably should be a 1v1. Yeah, 1-for-1. And yeah, the GG's called. Oh, man. So, here's what I would have wanted to see. Okay, I don't know if it would have changed anything. But you know the Mongols are going to want the middle, right? So maybe try and take control of the middle area in Feudal Age. It changes the whole game, right? Go for an archer opening. Archers are actually better long-term with the Byzantines. We talked about massing the crossbows, taking advantage of the cheaper Imperial Age, you know, fast castle drop, trebuchets. There's a lot of things that come to mind when you think Byzantines. But Monk Siege isn't necessarily always one of them. And even if it is never one of the strategies you want to go for when Teutons is on the other team. I don't know. Maybe there was like a side bet and Yo was like, hey, Lix, I'll give you $200 if you can perform this strat. And Lix is like, $200? Okay, I'll take it. And then obviously Yo is saying, you know, told you it wasn't possible, but I mean, you got to think there's no side bets going on and that they were trying to win. And that's just not a great winning strategy. I think what you do is you open up with a range, maybe even two. They scouted that both players were here and just try and take them out of that area. Again, I thought what Fat Dragon did was fine as well. Tato just was able to out-execute here, had a lot of monks, had a lot of siege. But imagine how this looks if Yo doesn't have to send his pop to support a dying push, right? Yo would never have had to waste his time running over here because it would have been kind of a one-on-one situation, and he could have maybe saved Fat Dragon, in theory, a little bit faster. There's the KD for you. Lix, how many conversions? 6 conversions! And there was like a couple crossbows. 6 conversions. I mean, to be fair, Tato only had 9. But Tato also had a lot more kills with his siege. And he also had like more crucial conversions. He was able to get, his siege were able to destroy more buildings because his push didn't just fall flat. GG, GamerLegion up 3-2. Hopefully we get another win for WWP and move on to a game 7. Is we have game number 6, and this is an important one for WWP. They will lose the show match if they lose this game. And if they lose this game, they will cry and cry and cry. Okay, they probably won't. But we are going to have some lamer boy time over here. Viper sees the elephant. Viper says, not your elephant. This is my elephant. Brings back memories, actually, of Viper and Vivi laming each other back when Vivi was named the Fat Dragon. And that's when the whole I Know Pig thing started. I don't know if that's something that really gets recommended much on YouTube anymore, but I know there's many people listening and watching who remember those days. Those were some great times. Oh, man, those games. Oh, man, that was just like peak ladder back then. Anyways, Viper. Also, why does it say Dravidians here? Has it been doing this all day? Is this a bug? Has it said the player's civilizations here this whole time? Anyways, Viper's playing as the Dravidians. I don't know why it says Dravidians up here. I don't know why that's there all of a sudden. In the yellow, you've got Doubt. Doubt is playing as the Magyars and he's Pocket. And then here in the red, we have crazy laming from Lix. Trying so anyways, as he wants to steal some goats. And I think he wants to wall in this villager and kill the elephant from Tato. So Lix is taking an entirely different approach. Okay, this is the time to see how much wood Lix is going to chop, because there's a chance Lix will want a TC drop here. This is a show match. They're not necessarily going to treat this like they would in the event itself. They want to have some fun. Now, Tato's going to try and de-aggro this. Oh, I called it. And now the scout. Oh, God. Wait, I don't think that was intentional. Okay, now this dies. Scout lost HP. If you don't know what just happened there, for the elephant to start attacking something other than that villager, I'll explain that soon. But Tato's Mongols, I mean, he can still take a lot of this. I think Tato will be fine. I didn't get the full introductions in for the other side, but again, very curious what Lix will do, because he has not started off in a standard way here. But yeah, so this has been happening every single game. That's really weird. Is there any way... I don't think disabling scoreboard is it. All right, another bug to report. Hopefully that gets fixed. It wasn't... maybe I did something wrong, because I... Hold on, one sec. No, I'm doing everything right. I don't know what to say. I got to send some messages out. Lots of growing pains over the last month when trying to implement some new stuff. Okay, so Viper definitely got the food lead on this side. Normally, I would say that Lix got the better of Tato, but I'm not necessarily sure that's the case. I think Tato will still be able to bring in a decent amount of food. I think what hurts him is actually not being able to push in the zebra now. And generally what happens is you tend to see Archer play from the flanks, Scout play from the pocket. But when I saw Persians on the flank, I was thinking maybe we'd see a TC drop here for Vivi. For Lix, excuse me. He doesn't have the wood for the TC yet, keyword being yet, as he's now sending more villagers forward. Yeah, this is going to be wild. Lix just wants to be a pain. And I would not expect them to perform like this or do this strategy in Battle of Africa 3. But maybe they saw the civs and said, you know what? Let's just have some fun. Yeah, they had to redraft Civilizations because the draft they did was only for 5 games. So that's why we had the delays, and that's why we're seeing a repeat of some Civilizations here. Tato making Militia. Are we going to see a TC drop on Viper? Oh, come on, Lix. That'd be so funny. It's not Viper, actually. It's Doubt. Ah, man, the colors thing gets me every time. I don't know. I feel like Tato has done remarkably well considering the circumstances, but at the same time, making Militia when you don't have any food underneath your TC means you might never make it to the next stage. So, who knows? Viper thinks he's going to be TC dropped, guys. Viper thinks he's going to be TC dropped. And the thing is, he might still be TC dropped. Lix is looking for his spot. Viper's dropping houses everywhere. I think if Lix takes out this tree, he can place a TC here that might range Viper. Let's see if he believes that. Okay, he's now deleted his TC. His villager was going to hop into the TC. There's no home anymore. And Lix says, hey, Viper, what's up? Except it's not Viper. God. Ah, it's Doubt. Sorry. The colors. The colors, man. The position should not be tied to the color. We're going to get that change eventually. I complained about Spec Chat for 2 years. We'll get this maybe in another 3. But, I don't know. Is this even good? I don't know. It's very funny. That villager will die for Lix. This villager could die for Lix. Lix has 18 vills. He also doesn't even have 10 villagers to fit inside the TC. Normally, if you do this, you want at least 10. This is Viper, okay? The snake is going to be making archers. And we are going to see archers for the fat dragon. Meanwhile, Tato's like, you Vil rush me, I Vil rush you. And at the same time, Tato's probably like, do you have any food over here? Oh, don't tell me. Oh, he actually finds the hunt. Oh, that's cheating, Tato. Lix did all that work to keep the hunt away from Mongols, and now Tato could just take this, no problem. I guess he also might want to be aggressive, but if I were him, I wouldn't be able to resist. Okay, Tato's militia goes down. This has definitely hurt Doubt's ability to make scouts. And we have scouts from Yo, so it's kind of canceled one player out on either side. I don't know what Tato's doing here or why he's made just one palisade. Peak Age of Empires 2. Can you imagine if you were new and you're really excited to get into a new competitive game? What you'd be thinking right now? Oh, I guess Tato's worried that Yo is going to come over here. I see. Okay, that would also make sense why he didn't take the hunt. I mean, they have given Yo a really good position with this. Tato also can't make army. I think it could actually work. Lix, he sacrificed himself to take Tato out, which we saw many times before, but he also has sacrificed himself to slow Doubt down. And now Mr. Yo can kind of, in theory, carry this a little bit. Viper will have to make some decisions on where he goes. Here he is moving out right now. And what I love about Vivi's choice here is he's gone Archer and Skirm. Because he can make skirmishers and have success because Doubt doesn't have scouts. Doubt's remaking a TC here. Vivi will see this. And why do I keep getting the names wrong? It's Lix, sorry. This is kind of awkward, though, because he doesn't want to lose these Vils. This is actually a big moment because I don't think Lix is going to be able to rebuild a TC because he doesn't have wood. All because of Tato's pressure there. That said, Tato lost a villager here. Tato lost a villager here. Tato will lose a villager here. Tato will barely have wood. Now, Tato's down to 26 villagers. And here you have Viper trying to move over to hit Yo. Something that Yo will now be aware of. And it looks as though Fat Dragon will be able to defend Yo for now. Yeah, so at the moment, not only can Lix not afford to make another TC, as here finally come a couple of scouts from Doubt, but he also can't, if he were to get 275 wood, he wouldn't really be able to do much to repair his TC either. So great work from Tato, I guess, and then maybe what Tato will do is just make a lumber camp in here, because he kind of needs a safe spot for lumber camp. Viper's army needs to be tracked, buying his team a lot of time, but also still hasn't done any damage to anybody. And all we're seeing here from Lix is just Vil fighting. I guess he figures eventually Doubt will run out of food. But these are Magyar scouts. They're cheaper. They have all the attack. And oh, God. Lix could be defeated. Lix has everything that he owns right here. Oh, man. And he's got no resource income right now. He doesn't have wood. He doesn't have food anymore because he got hit here. He's got a bunch of palisade walls he could delete to get resources. That's about it. Ooh, Viper with the sneaky move. And look at Vivi. Vivi's like, I just need to keep this away. Oh, that's so good from Vivi. Oh, my God. I mean, he should lose a villager or two here. But that was so good. He could have lost like 4 or 5. Here comes Doubt, though. Doubt understands the situation here. Viper probably calling for some help. Not receiving the help right now. Viper did lose his entire army there. It's 92 eco for GamerLegion, 74 for WWP. But Tato's still Dark Age. I think, honestly... What the... I was just going to say, I think it honestly would make sense for Tato to take the hunt. And then I look over here. 21 villagers. Mongol hunt bonus OP. Let's go. Now, having some skirmishers in the mix now is certainly awkward because... Scouts can counter that, but there's still more range units for Vivi than there is Viper. And, okay, there's one mill dropped, and now Tato can go feudal. Tato can go fast castle, if you could call it fast, with all this food. What's funny is Lix could probably report that that's being taken, though. He's like, hey, there's food over there. And so if there's ever a point, if there's a really good fight for Yo could just swing his scouts over there, and Tato would be wrecked. Obviously, though, right now, Yo needs to stay with his teammate, because then it could be problematic for Vivi. And Tato's not really their worry right now. It's going to take a long time for Tato to contribute in this game. Fully upgraded scouts right now for Yo. Doubt cannot say the same. Doubt doesn't have bloodlines. Doubt doesn't have armor. He only has the attack upgrade, which he got for free. Okay, Lix is farming. Which is funny. He's actually chopping straggler trees. What's he trying to get wood for? Another farm, I guess? Oh, he needs to save wood for a lumber camp. Oh, gosh. It is kind of funny. Viper can't run through here because of the TC. And now Dowd is really concerned. I mean, his eco is mainly up against the edge of the map. He has to drop a tower now. The tower needs to be walled in, though. That could be really bad. How's Tato doing? He's doing all right. And here he comes. Okay, Yo will see this. Tato going for a militia spearman tower rush play. I doubt obviously going to lose a lot of his farming eco here. But I like this from Tato because now Yo has someone else to worry about. And Lix just contributes nothing and will contribute nothing over the rest of the game. This is a really good play from Tato. That said, Vivi, or Fat Dragon, is on the way to Castle Age. Will be faster than the Viper. And you can see how Vivi's like, hey, let's go here. I think there's lumber there. There's a lot of different areas they could hit. They could hit the gold and the stone from Tato. As Tato makes another tower. I think maybe Yo will need a tower here just to stop this. Is Yo going to attack this? Okay, I think he is. I think he'll delete Palisades and send these villagers after the tower. He wants to put a stop to this. Meanwhile, Tato losing villagers, dropping a tower at home. This is madness, man. This is madness, but a lot could go wrong for Tato. He could lose all these villagers here. He did kill a lot of scouts, though. The spearmen were so important for him. That tower doesn't go up, and now we have Vivi getting his upgrades. Now, what's Viper up to? Viper's got a big ball. Can the snake save his team? But again, Tato could lose all these vills. But the spearmen! I don't know if it's enough, but it certainly has helped a lot because these are fully upgraded scouts. If he didn't have spearmen, he would lose all these vills. Okay, we have a Vivi villager. Vivi, I think, is trying to... sorry, Lix, I think, is trying to steal the farms and delete them, guys. Look, look, he's trying to click the farm, which you can do, and then delete it. He's a farm terrorist, man. Terrorizing the farm economy of Doubt. Not in the way that you would expect Persians to. He's full boom over here, Lix. He's full boom. Chopping straggler trees. And right now, he's got 7 villagers, excuse me, man. Massive army from the Viper, though. Viper has crossbowmen in. Yo is pretty far away from the next stage. Yo really needs multiple towers. He also needs support from Vivi. But Vivi is looking for this, so they're trying to hunt down Tato right now. And, I mean, that might be possible, but what is Yo going to do against Viper? Relying on Vivi. Vivi gets ballistics. The ballistics timing will be really important. Viper was later to Castle Age, obviously later to ballistics as well. Does have the numbers here, but what he doesn't have is the Korean armor. And yeah, scouts will come over to contribute. Plus, the Khmer player can always hop inside of the houses. Oh, Vivi with a miss patrol there. Tato had to make a tower here. He lost so many vills, though. A player we haven't talked about in a while is Doubt, who, as the Magyars, is about to hit Castle Age. They get the attack upgrades for free. Doubt also does have some scouts around. Man, I love the TC drop strategy. It just makes games so interesting. I know a lot of people want to get that out of the game, but it's a unique strat. There's only certain players that can do it well. And what we've seen here is how it just shakes up that whole meta that you get used to. I just wonder, like, I think the score difference right now is purely the fact that Tato has more vills than Vivi. But if that never matters, because Tato can never get to Castle Age, I don't know if that's really a big deal. Viper, though. Oh, he killed so many Vills over here. Great job from Viper, but he will lose this army. Yeah, this is essentially a 2v2 right now. Exactly. And you could argue that Viper is slightly behind Vivi because Vivi's got more army now. And you could also make arguments that Yo is slightly ahead of Doubt. The Tato is going to just be as annoying as possible, which is what he has to do. For Lix, it's a race to a lumber camp, and he's got one finally. He's just going to try and take out Doubt's houses. Actually, he could lose his TC here. But again, this is also being annoying, so these are knights that Doubt can't send where he needs them to be. Like, they are really allowing Tato to distract. Look at this. Tato runs away. Tato, how are your quick walls, man? Quick wall as fast as possible. Be as annoying as possible. Because the longer you stay alive here, the better a chance you give Viper and Doubt, as they're going to aim to coordinate here. Love the guard tower, by the way. Such a great play. It's a little unfortunate, though, for Vivi. I think Vivi maybe needed a tower on this wood line. But overall, is playing very secure. Will lose this villager. What? What? Nope, she dead. I guess this is just enough to finish off Tato, or so they think. Here we have the knights from Yo. Here we have the crossbows from Vivi. Yes, it's a 3v3 game, but in reality, it's a 2v2. And there's confidence for WWP as they want to move in here. Doubt does not have chain barding armor. He might get the extra attack, but the extra attack is not helpful in defending from the bolts, from the arrows. Chain barding armor is key. That oftentimes comes back to eco. But that said, Doubt's eco, when I'm looking at it and comparing it, Doubt's eco is actually better, I think, than Yo's. I don't know. I'm a little confused on that. Maybe it's because he's going to have some villagers go over to farms here in a second. Obviously, you need a lot of gold for knights. Food is important, but gold, the most important thing. Yeah, so Tato just still trying to be annoying here. He might end up saving the tower. I don't know, but it's not really important right now, as they are making a beeline to Dow. Now, something I didn't really talk about before is how this gold is really hard to ever take advantage of. Because normally you'd have a TC close by and your base is there. Your base is kind of pushed back away from some of these golds. So Doubt's starting to take some of these one-tile golds. Here comes Viper to help. Viper does have 40 crossbows. And Viper, I think there's potential he goes fast Imperial here. I mean, he really has a lot of army and a lot of food floating. But just think about the difference between Yo and Doubt after this. That said, Viper killing 3 knights already. And over here, you have the pressure from Doubt all over Yo. This could be really good for GamerLegion. Tato's like, we're back! We took out the ram! Rah, another tower in his face. When we see any type of pressure from Vivi on Viper, like right here would be so good. That great addition to add that siege workshop. And I think Yo and Vivi are like, oh god, did we go too far here? We are behind enemy lines. Have we ventured out too far? And I think they maybe have. Loving the damage we're seeing here from Doubt. Obviously, having all that extra attack is a big help here. And I like how Tato is actually contributing. It is something. Yo has had access to gold. He hasn't had a lot of gold saturation, but he's had access to gold here. This fight, not actually... we didn't see that much happen, believe it or not. Well, you didn't see it because I looked away, but there wasn't a lot of action when I looked away, was my point. And I'm sure it'll ramp up. I mean, in theory, Doubt's going to have more knights here in a second, then they clear this, and then Viper is on the way to the Imperial Age. I just want to see Lix build a TC on Viper right now. It probably wouldn't work, but just imagine. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lix is going to lose his eco again. Tato does have this tiny little tower to protect himself. Woodline still exposed, but that's not where you want to be hitting right now. Like, this is a waste of your time. This is kind of a waste of your time as well. You want to be hitting Viper. You want to be hitting Doubt. And I suppose they did hit Doubt quite a bit, actually. Doubt is definitely behind Yo. People have been asking me today about the Dravidians. T90, aren't the Dravidians bad? T90, aren't the Dravidians a civilization we need to buff? T90, as we see a random Licks villager and another random Licks villager. T90, Dravidians bad. Other civs good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying the civ couldn't use a slight nerf. I think it's a great archer civ. It's a great hybrid map civilizations. It really can fit a role. Obviously not super flexible in 1v1s, but I think people have been sleeping on the Dravidians. Very similar to Japanese. That's been the comparison I've made. And we see a castle that was not denied, but a good move out from Viper nonetheless, and a good castle from Vivi before Viper is going to hit the next stage. Now, problem for Viper is, what do you do with Siege? Because you've no villagers on stone. So we'll probably see him go to stone. Meanwhile, Licks is trying to make his gold as inefficient as possible. Yeah, that's a problem for Viper. Another problem for Viper is that Vivi has a great deal of army as well, and Vivi is going to be in the Imperial Age. I think Vivi can defend himself. Can Vivi get enough to defend Yo, though? Because Viper will have Arbalest. Viper 50 army should head right over towards Yo. Yo might actually consider taking this engagement. You really don't want to lose your Night Mass. And so he backs away. I just love the random blue dots around Viper's eco. Was Licks trying to steal a farm underneath Viper's TC? Must be so fun to be Licks, man. Great castle from Yo. I like it. This is still an area of concern back here. But he really needs to just protect his gold. And he needs to keep his knights alive. He needs to get out of here. Our meta these days is very much around getting a lot of Arbalest out, particularly in 3v3s. 2v2s, a bit more knight heavy because you have one archer player, one knight player instead of here. It's normally 2 archer players, but we obviously haven't seen that. Licks just really being a pest. That's a Viper Palisade. He blocked the Palisade with his own Palisade, I think. Viper trying to make a move. It's all about damage control for Yo right now. And hey, we have Tato on the way to the next stage, but then we have a similar situation as before. Tato, he's ahead of Licks, but can he do anything? It's still going to be a 2v2 here. But the army count for GamerLegion is insane, and Viper's production is wild. I mean, if this Civ got Bombard Cannon, I know it's tough against Koreans, but I feel like a bit of a push with Bombard Cannons would have made a lot of sense. Viper doesn't have all of his army here, though. The army count for the team is also deceiving because Tato has 20 spearmen. Remember, Doubt doesn't have as many knights. Doubt's also not on the way to Imp. And I love this play from Vivi. I love this tower. Or keep, excuse me. And I don't even think Viper's noticed it yet. That was a lovely addition from him. What do we have now? We have Yupseong, which gives additional range to those towers. I think I pronounced that properly. Probably not. But I tried. My mom always said that it's the effort that counts. It's the thought that counts. TC could go down for Licks. There is a world, guys, where Licks gets defeated here. I'm not even kidding. Licks could get defeated and his team could win. He's got 9 villagers here. He's got 6 villagers here. That's everything he has. So probably like one random villager somewhere else trying to disrupt someone's farming eco. Tato's gonna boom. TC, TC, TC. He's just like, all right, guys, have fun. I'm going to catch up. Here's that other villager, by the way, for Licks. Hey, Mark, thank you. Glad to have you back as well. Don't stress it. And yeah, Doubt and Viper back away because they are very much concerned about the fact that Yo is an imp. And there goes Yo. Yo is going to save Licks. Yo, guys. Yo is going to save Licks. Licks is like, guys, I'm the reason you're winning right now. Save me. I'm the MVP. That's probably what he's saying. He's got 600 score. Here comes Yo to save the day. Now, to be fair, it doesn't like really matter. I feel like if Licks dies, it doesn't make that much of a difference at this stage. So he could also just be heading over towards Yo, but this is everything Licks has now. That and one more villager somewhere. I still am going to have to search for him. Hey, she's rebooming. Hey, Licks will survive. Lix will survive, and Viper can't make bomber cannons. And the towers are a bit of a problem. And the cav could hit him as well. Yo's like, where do I go? What do I do? Look at Viper, though. The fact that Viper's running back is so bad for them right now. But they just weren't comfortable moving all this way into the opponent's eco. Guys, Doubt is not in the Imperial Age, so he can't be on Cavalier. Yo's eco is now untouched. Lix is just so good at sacrificing himself for his team. Yes, Tato's Vil count is going to shoot up, but now Doubt's going to die. And Viper, I think he had a very good game, but look at the economy difference between what Viper has and what the Fat Dragon has. Love the fact he changed his name back to the Fat Dragon because he's a chubby boy. He likes his eco, and I still think Lix is MVP. Lix has 6 villagers, and he's in Dark Age, and yet Fat Dragon and Yo finish it off. WWP get the victory. Wow, what an entertaining set. Wait, Tato has, let's just do quick maths. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tato has as many town centers as Lix has villagers. That's a crazy stat. If I were to just put that statement on like a tweet or something, right? You would just assume that Lix had like 30 vills and Tato was trolling with, I don't know, Bulgarians or Malians and made a bunch of town centers. You would not assume in a 45-minute game that what I just said is reality. But it was reality, and it was reality because Lix delayed Tato and made it awkward for Tato. And then he did the same against Doubt. Viper had a great game. It's very tricky because Viper was he wasn't receiving the same amount of support from Doubt because Doubt was getting hit. But that was definitely a spot where everyone on GamerLegion was like, all right, carry me, son. You know, come on. This is your moment. And Vivi did a lot of really good defensive things. Houses behind every single palisade wall. He dropped towers, you know, now keeps, but he dropped towers earlier when he needed it. I love this little tower choice as well. I think this was an underrated move, even getting the unique tech for Koreans, so he knew what he was talking about. But I mean, Vivi did have army all over the map as well. Vivi's honestly playing really good. Vivi's really stepped it up. He's outperformed Vivi of last year in this show match at least, so. Vivi, you know, doesn't maybe have the name like Yo and Lix. Yo and Lix are known being best buds, great players in the 2v2, but Vivi fit his role well. And you look at his KD, he had more kills. Yeah, we make the jokes that Lix is the MVP, as he had 7 total kills and 56 losses, but Vivi deserves a lot of respect for how he played that. And, you know, what did he have with villagers at the end? He had 102 with 55 army. That's pretty insane. Lix didn't even have a town center when that game ended. Oh, my God. Now, I don't know if they'll do that, as my chat is just bugged out there at the bottom. I don't know if WWP will actually do this in Battle of Africa 3, but I'll keep my eye out for it, obviously. Must be frustrating to be GamerLegion right now, but we will have a Game 7. Wonderful show match. So many amazing games. You know, sometimes you cast sets, and even if the score is 3-3 going into Game 7, the games themselves weren't that great. This has been awesome. All right, so game number 7 here. We're speeding up, catching up to live time. It shouldn't be too much of a zoom. And we have beach fights. Again, this has been a little Battle of Africa 3 show match, I think put on by WWP. Now we have WWP here in this one, obviously. 3-3 against GamerLegion, 2 of the favorites in the event. I will be covering the rest of the event, by the way. Looking forward to that. I think I will actually miss... I won't be doing it this Thursday and Friday. I'm not going to do all of the conclusion of the groups, but then quarters onwards, everything will be covered. Viper played good in the previous one. Not quite good enough. He's playing as the Tatars, bringing back all the extra sheep. There's a lot of them on this map. His pocket is, again, Doubt. Doubt is playing as the Slavs. And you start with farms on this map, so Slavs is one of the better picks for that reason, as they farm faster. And then we have Italians for Jordan. Italians pretty solid at, you know, doing what you want to do with as a flank player. Going for early up times, lots of archer numbers. Pretty good civilization to have. Up against him, we've got Fat Dragon, who I think has had an amazing day. He's playing as the Malay. I would say Malay can be competitive with the archers. I would prefer them a little... No, I think I would prefer Italians. But, you know, there's not a big difference there. Pocket then is Yo playing as the Berbers. Fantastic middle position. Civ with the cheaper knights and cheaper camels. And then last but not least, we have Licks, who's Byzantines. Do not think we will see a TC drop in this game. All right. So as I think through how this is going to play out, you should keep in mind there's going to be Hunt in the north and south. And then you've got gold always visible in the corners. Think mid-Castle Age, focus on those corners. Lock it down with the TC. And, you know, possibly deny it with a few extra scouts or a few extra knights. Definitely something that teams are going to need to keep an eye on. Now, what becomes tricky here is the walling potential is there. But how you're going to wall is always the question. You could wall this way if you're Jordan. You could wall right beyond the walls of Fat Dragon. You could also team wall. You could have a wall like this, for example. Or, you know, wall here. You can work together as a team. But that takes a little bit more thinking and scouting. So that's the tricky thing on this map. But I could definitely see Fast Castle being a possibility. As I've been doing this for so long, I have seen previous Battle of Africas or just previous games on this type of map. And there was a time where pretty much everyone was going Fast Castle. And, like, the best teams. When it got down to the very end, the best teams are going Fast Castle. But houses weren't as strong. Walling was cheaper. There's been a lot of wall nerfs. There's been, like, 5 wall nerfs over 2 years. So, you know, what I'm thinking of is very much like the old meta. I like this here from Jordan, but he is going to be pushed back. Drop a gate. Oh, man. Vivi. I feel like a lot of players would have placed a gate foundation there, and then Jordan's scout would be dead, but this is not the end of the world. 1890, don't you think that Viper changed his color in order to confuse the enemy? Just as you got confused with names. Maybe it was his idea. You're giving Viper way too much credit, okay? He's good, all right? He mind games. You're giving him way too much credit. No, I think that Doubt performs much... I think that Doubt performs much worse on the flank as compared to Viper. And I think that's it. I was going to initially say that I think Doubt performs better as Pocket, but that would imply that Viper doesn't perform well here. Viper, I think, can do kind of either. Doubt is actually really good at playing the knight roles, right? So, unfortunately, the color thing is tied to your position. So, you would have to be on the ends of the colors for your team to have those colors. It should not be tied to color. It should be tied to a separate feature, in my opinion, but it is what it is for now. And it's also a show match that they could be practicing to. Like, maybe, you know, after this, they'll say, you know, Doubt, don't play, you know, Pocket anymore. We'll have you on flank. Does anyone here remember Battle of Africa 2? What happened with Doubt on this map, though? Game 7? Does anyone remember? I do. And let me just tell you, he was flank. And it was not good. I forget if it was Game 7 or Game 6, but yeah, it just wasn't pretty. All right, so keeping an eye on the uptimes. We see what you could consider a very late uptime over here for Licks. This is definitely Fast Castle for him. He's made a gate here, which will lead right towards the walls of Viper. Was that Game 6? Do you remember it? Yeah, it was really bad. Basically, everyone was walling up like this, and Doubt left a massive gap like this big. And armies got into his base, and then his teammates' base. And I remember GamerLegion. I guess back then it was Tyrant or Secret? I forget. But anyways, you know, same team, same players. We're all kind of making jokes about that. Yeah, I feel like, you know, having Jordan in here is maybe a bit of a test, because I think Tato plays extraordinarily well in these types of positions. Obviously, not that Jordan's a bad player. Very big walls here for Jordan. You know, another thing about having Byzantines too, guys, is that your walls do have more HP. Your buildings have more HP as well. Look at this, though. This is open. Would mean that Viper would have to eventually leave his base, obviously, and loop around. But yeah, Fast Castle everywhere. On the flanks, as we have some scouts from Doubt. And I think that's why they're signaling this. I think, like, Licks right now, he tried it earlier today. I think what he's going to try and do is go for something wild like Siege Monk. But he has to get these walls down. And look at this. Doubt is clearly trying to get to the outside. And Viper is probably telling him, hey, this is open up right now. Yo hits the next stage. Yo is going to drop a market and a blacksmith. Yo planning on going up to the castle age. Viper now attacking a villager. But, oh, man. Does he not have loom right now? No, he has loom. Oh, man. Guys, if you're doing this, you have to complete all the walls. Like, do they not know that Doubt's adding scouts? This is so bad. It's so casual. Okay, Vivi, in normal circumstance, would say, hey, there's scouts here. But I think it's just assumed that's not a problem. Because they're assuming Lix is going to get the walls down. So I'm freaking out right now. Like, if these scouts get in... Great job from Viper to pick off that villager, by the way. Ah, yeah, True Torment. Yeah, okay. I thought it was no loom, but yeah, he had the hill with Tatars and they do more damage. And okay, I guess he'll get the walls down. False alarm. Notice how Lick sold his stone, though. So he's not planning on ever adding more town centers. And crisis avoided, I guess. Ooh. Look at this from Yo. Taking some of the hunt. And that's obviously something that could be attacked right now. A Viper's scouting. Viper hasn't scouted it. Doubt hasn't scouted it either. Sneaky. Just a way to get a bit more food. He did pre-wall it as well. I like that move from Yo. Obviously could catch him. It could catch him off guard later. But being Berbers, he could run out here pretty quickly. Yeah, there's no stone on this map. So buying a castle would be a bit rough. But I've seen castles on this map before. Yeah, you have to buy it because there's no stone. No, all four corners are not visible. So the corners that are visible are the gold corners. I'll show you. See this? So the north and south are not visible. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would ever take the hunt. Okay, Viper has a scout here with Jordan. Jordan, with a fast uptime here, he wants to go for siege. We'll have Vivi with his archers on the right side. But Jordan has more archers. Jordan was in Castle Age faster, and Jordan is faster to some of these upgrades too. And obviously faster to the siege. This is a really good position to push from. But I think if there was a side that you had to choose to support if you're Yo, you would want to support this side. And here he is. Doubt will reach Castle Age at a pretty reasonable time. He's sending villagers to the north. I saw Doubt town centering this area before. I think he did that with Khmer in the past. It was his set against the Q&A team, the Chilean team. A lot of lurkers out there, a lot of people watching the cast. I want to say thanks for being here. There's some new people out there, I'm sure. There, according to my data here, a bunch of people who aren't going to interact in chat, maybe aren't logged in, don't have an account, whatever. Thanks for listening. Good to be back after, well, a week away, but it's actually been like 8 days, maybe 8.5 since I've done any type of live stuff. And, ooh, big problem for Jordan. I don't think they expected this. I think they were expecting the opponent to react to this. And look at Jordan. Like, he has to go into some houses here. That might not fully protect him. Now, thankfully, he's on this gold. Viper with cav archers. I think a town center as well. It'll be interesting to see how that goes down. Jordan obviously will need some level of support here from Doubt. Doubt has already housewalled behind his gate, so it doesn't look like he has intention of helping. Viper's cav archers, though, over here to hit Yo. He won't get any Vil kills. And here comes Lix to support. Now what the Knights can do is the Knights can go in and the Knights can take out the siege. And that is why some support was needed from Doubt. Great work there. And good work here. Really well done from Yo and from Lix to not take more damage to Viper. I mean, Viper's got the control. We talk about initiative all the time. He's the one that is setting the pace of the game, and he's going to be on this wood line now. And I just don't think Lix is going to be able to keep up with this long term. Pressure is coming in towards Doubt. Doubt has to switch over to this gold. Also has the TC up here. I kind of question, and I could be wrong, if he is going to be able to make as many knights. Because having 3 town centers to produce villagers out of, and being up against a Berber player, I think that's going to be pretty tricky. Viper has looped around this way. Viper's still looping around over here. Viper's being super annoying. And Jordan getting ballistics now, and Doubt's back here too, so they might actually be able to trap this a little bit. Very close game if you look at the stats, but I can see the regret right now from Vivi and Yo. They are deep behind enemy lines, and there's TCs and army everywhere. See how annoying it is for Lix to have to deal with this, though? He's just abandoned the wood line. He said, screw that wood line. I mean, if they keep moving, they could hit Viper's wood. And I'm surprised Viper hasn't gone for any buildings or house walls. Whoa, really weird from him. I feel like a house or two here would have stopped this army from progressing in here. Taking way more damage to this than I expected. Look at Viper. Even moving off the golds. For the King of Quick Walls, I was expecting some preemptive walls there at least. I mean, in the end, they are going to end up clearing this, but I think WWP will be happy with how long they were here at the very least. Hey, this is where you could start to see players make town centers in the corners. It's probably a little early, but we could see it. And I want you to keep an eye on the food counts for the archer players. Particularly Lix, because for Lix, it is so much cheaper for him to go to the Imperial Age. T90, before I fall asleep, would you prefer to constantly hear fishing ship sounds or llama noises? Oh, God. Oh, why would you do that to me? Probably, I would prefer to hear llama noises. But yeah, the llamas in this game are constantly like... That's not exactly what they sound like. That's more like a water buffalo, but... You guys know what I'm talking about. If you've ever played Llama Nothing, which I'm sure is a thing, you know what I'm talking about. Very important question to ask. I can tell why you couldn't sleep before asking it. Makes sense. Yeah, Viper killing some villagers here, but he's not going to be able to do much more. What he is doing is he's keeping Lix here for now. Oh man, Vivi on his own here. He does have ballistics. So does Jordan, though. And Jordan has knight support. Now, what you want to aim to do is micro down the archers from Jordan. And then, yeah, obviously wait for Yo. Both players kind of have a hill, so I'm not sure how the bonus damage is playing in here. But chain barding armor is in for Yo. That upgrade is not in for Doubt. And this should give WWP the opportunity to move out. But Yo is saying, delete your walls, man. Vivi, delete your walls. This fight could have been so much better had they deleted the walls. The siege is there. Pretty decent shot. Oh my God, man, Vivi. He's not so fat anymore. Oh, he's trimmed up. He's lost weight. He's lost crossbows. What was that? Ouch. I guess the temptation to move out there was too real. Viper still being a pest, man. It's like every time I look over here, he's finding a wood line of some kind. Lix just cannot comfortably move out. He actually sent his crossbows this way to deal with this. Viper's got like 4 groups of CA. And what this has done is it has kept Yo down in villagers. Like, Yo has been going all in. He hasn't been able to really boom that well. Doubt, he hasn't really been needed. And he is Slav, so the faster farmers are helping. Also, I don't know if this is intentional for Viper, but he's just got 2 random villagers here. He has been talking a lot about a TC gather point bug. I don't know if that's what that is. But, oh, man, Yo is getting hit on the food over here as well. And Jordan's on the way to the Imperial Age. I mean, so is Lix. But this is looking amazing for GamerLegion right now. They've got a military lead and a significant economy lead. And that should only grow from here. I really want to see Viper's KD at the moment. He has really shined in this game. Viper's KD... 32-7. I guess he decides just to, you know, take the hunt out here. For Jordan, you just don't want to do what Vivi did a moment ago. You do not want to take losses with your crossbow numbers. He's got 27 of them right now. The goal, obviously, to upgrade to Arbalest. Gotta love this hill, too. I mean, he'll take out these archery ranges pretty quickly. And while we'll have licks in the Imperial Age, I think Viper's economy is decent enough to make enough Cav Archers to hold against this many Arbalest. Viper just checking the gold. Obviously, that's always visible, so they now know that Yo is over here. They'll see that Vivi's over here as well. You have Doubt now on the way to the next stage. Something that Yo can't even dream of right now. I think they needed... Like, the moment for WWP was when they had this fight here. And the siege from Jordan did just enough. Doubt now is really going to kick up the notch. Kick up the notch? Step it up a notch? Step up... Notch it up? No. I think one of those was correct. Anyways... Doubt is really going to up his production because his economy is insane. 45 on food versus 24 from Yo. And he even has more on gold as well. His economy is just... It's notched because I can't speak anymore. It's been a while since I've casted games, so... Apparently my brain taps out at like 4 hours right now. Not the best fight for Doubt. He is going to end up losing this army, but he's going to have plenty more. Since they have the control, he'll TC the corner. Viper will do the same. And man, that's a nasty number of Cav Archers. Viper could actually just break through the palisades. I guess it's good for Yo that he does have this gold, but look at Doubt. Doubt's over here. It's perfect timing as well, because you know Yo is reacting on the other side. That's brilliant. I don't know if that was intentionally timed, but I'm sure Doubt is saying, like, oh yeah, I just cleared him off of gold. And GamerLegion experienced enough to maybe be able to realize this could be over from here. Because right now, we've got this big ball from Jordan. Okay, let me just take a step back. Experienced enough to realize they need to hold until Doubt is an imp right now. I think Jordan needs to somehow get gold, but it's tough for him because he can't comfortably run over here because the enemy's there. Yeah, they just need to hold this out for now, wait for Doubt to get Cavalier in his final armor upgrade, and they should be fine. There's a signal from Vivi. He's probably like, hey, over there, guys, keep Viper off of gold. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. If they could take Doubt's Cavalier stable, that would be a stroke of luck, but no, they don't get it. Obviously, for now, Jordan's got enough gold to make more arbs. He will probably come from the other side on the hill. He doesn't see this, though. The potential's there. Doubt has to back away. Keeping his mass up. He's got 19. Capture age, yep, shows they're over here. Mopped up an army, well played. Jordan did see this. Ends up taking out the siege. Now even has a bombard cannon. And yeah, they're going to try and pounce on this army, guys. And I think they're going to be able to clear this. Yo does have quite a few knights. He's actually mixing in camels now, too. It's all very cheap for Berbers, but Cavalier with plate barding armor. That's going to be the difference maker here. I think Viper and Jordan played their roles perfectly. I was very impressed with how Viper played it with the Cav Archers because I wasn't expecting that. And then Doubt's economy as well was just so good. It was a close game that wasn't even close because of how solid GamerLegion were. Obviously, the series was fantastic. The Licks is maybe his team's only hope right now because he's the only player who's doing anything that could maybe damage Doubt or maybe damage Viper, but he gets completely mopped up. Viper still has CA over here. He's got 46 Cav Archers. 46 Cav Archers. Yeah, and like I said, he just, I don't care. You're an imp, that's cute. I'm in GamerLegion, look what I have. 103 army versus 39. 250 eco versus 167, and it seems as though the show match is going to go to GamerLegion. Tato had a great day today. Tato sat aside. There was no Slam. I don't think Slam... No, Slam's playing on a different team for this tournament, if that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, long story short, all the GamerLegion players stepped up when they had to. We had a very Doubt game earlier where he didn't look good, and then you fast forward, game 7, and every decision from him was spot on. Also, guys, I think we're finding out a little bit more how good Slavs actually are. I think they're definitely better in team games than 1v1s. But that farm rate's insane. And if you get away with a slight economic approach with them, you don't have to go all in eco. But if you get away with it, you can do some crazy things later on in the game. Viper, you know, he's distracting Yo. And Licks at the moment, trying to make his way out. Okay, what is that pathing? Did you see that? Like, what happens here since this game is over? And this is happening way too frequently. The Viper clicks to move this way, right? And some of his units just say, okay, we'll do that in a minute. That repathing thing it's actually kind of always been an issue with Cav Archers, to be honest. But it's been more prevalent with all types of units over the last couple months for some reason. Yeah, GG's called. Great series, great game. I think both teams will learn some lessons. From an entertainment standpoint, whoa. Whoa! Whoa! What the? Capture Age! Hey, Capture Age is not letting me give GamerLegion the win. Oh, wait. Yay! There we go! I don't know what's going on. Hey, Capture Age is biased, guys. You heard it here first. But no, I had a really fun time casting that. Thank God that I found out about this. Otherwise, I would have been online and not really knowing what was going on. There were so many good games. I don't know what we're going to do with the YouTube uploads. I think it makes sense to just send it all up in one video. If people end up seeing it on YouTube, I hope they enjoyed. Again, this was not Battle of Africa 3. I will be covering most of Battle of Africa 3. I can promise you that what will hit YouTube for that will be the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the final. Expecting some incredible games there, as the best teams will be squaring off. But yeah, I don't think all the strategies we've seen here today are necessarily going to be strategies that we will see in those events, but I think many of them will. Not all of them, but many of them. Very, very good set of games. Yeah, let's look at the KD here. I'm sure the KD was incredible. Yeah, Viper with a great KD, Jordan with a great KD, and even Doubt. I mean, it just did not go well on either front for White Wolf Palace to close out the series.